Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, and today I've got something real interesting for you guys. Okay, this is OMEA. What is OMEA? OMEA is a narrative RPG. But here's the thing, okay? There are no options. It's not like, oh, talk to character, here's dialogue option A, B, C. No. You get to write your own story. Hell, you can even use the microphone to talk like during the story process and cite your responses. You don't want to type? No problem. Use the mic. Okay? You literally can do whatever you want. There are very few limitations. Okay? And today I'll be seeing whether or not this game can actually survive my creative mind. Okay? This is a demo right now. There's only one story, which is Odin's Trial. Okay? But the AI here, the AI that powers this whole thing, okay? And it's not an AI gen game. No, no, no. The AI is what powers the story and the language model. Now, the voices are unfortunately AI generated as well. If you don't like that, you can turn them off. But we'll just be going with them on. I honestly would prefer to narrate my own story because I can do all the voice acting myself. But the key thing about this, right, is the freedom. The freedom that you have to do whatever you want, to create the story your way. It's like playing D&D, but your dungeon master is the AI itself, all right? It will take what you write, what you can imagine, and literally work it into the story. I tested it out yesterday. It was honestly beautiful. Very, very excited to do it again tonight. All right. But this time we'll be doing it live in front of our audience. Now, here's the other thing. All right. Those of you who are chat members, okay, those of you who super chat or whatever else, I will let you throw in a wild card. All right. You can choose to decide what my next action is, no matter how hilariously stupid or interesting it might be. I will let you decide that entirely. Okay, I'm gonna get my cap though. I thought my hair was gonna look all suave, but you know what? It's looking a little wild instead. So we'll get the cap and we'll have to just deal with that. All right, guys. I look forward to sharing this adventure with all of you. It's going to be really, really interesting. All right, so if you guys are interested in narrative adventures, okay, then this is the type of game for you. Make sure you grab the demo. It's on Steam. All right, I'll have a link that regularly posts in my chat. So make sure you grab it. Make sure you try it out because it is worth your time. Okay? I don't normally just spout that about any game, but it is worth your time. Okay, it is 110% worth your time. I am going to pin the message on both chats. All right? And let's begin because this is an interesting one. Okay, just informing my own peeps that we're live as well so that they can tune in. I tell you, all the people that don't know about this right now, I tell you, you are going to get quite a surprise. So let's begin the story. This is Odin's Trial. Survival, horror, Viking sandbox. The storm took your ship, you wake alone on a frozen shore. Find a way off before the cold or something worse claims you. All right? This is a trial by the All-Father. Now, you can actually create your own character if you want, or you can like choose like one of the basic characters that they give you. Okay, so my microphone is set up. Okay, we're good. I'll start with the male. I'm a Viking raider. It'll show you your stats here. Hey Austin, what up? Okay, so I've got pretty good endurance and I'm pretty physically strong. So let's go. Play. And FYI, there are dice rolls as well. Huh, looks like I was raiding Wessex. But we got shipwrecked on the way home. So where are we now?
Finally. I am Hugin. Thought. Yours specifically. The only part of your mind Odin left you. Your memory waits across this island. My brother Munin. Reach the frozen passage before the blood moon peaks. Or remain nothing. One problem. Fenrir's child guards the passage. Tonight it hunts the whole island. Can you outrun a god's wolf?
Can I? Well, let's find out. I have every intention of outrunning God's wolf. Oh, this brings back memories. Memories of my young days. Alright. We start in the low fjords. Look, it's a shipwreck.
Your legs are heavy, waterlogged as sodden timber. You push yourself up, and the world tilts, gray sky spinning against black rock. You steady yourself, gasping. The wind cuts straight through your soaked tunic, biting at the skin beneath. Every breath drags cold air into lungs that already burn with the chill of the sea. Around you, the wreck of your Drakkar lies.
You can also access lore, FYI, kind of like that. Alright. It's a sleek, fast ship.
The cliffs rise higher, promising a view of the land. South, the shore slopes down toward what might be a beach. East, a steep, dark path leads into the forest. The sun hangs low. You have hours of light. Maybe.
Okay. We've got hours of light. What do we do? So this is the key to the whole game. Okay, this is the key to the whole game, guys. We can actually, and my members have the right, all right, you can throw me a wild card or tell me to write whatever, and I will, all right? Audience participation is absolutely allowed, but you can actually just type in your responses if you want. You've got 512 characters, or you can recite it into the microphone. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to make this very, very interesting for you guys. So here we go. What should we do now? Now that we have been shipwrecked, now that we have nothing to our name. If you look up top, there's a status. Hypothermia risk, wet clothing. All right. I washed up half dead, but I have no name, no memory. All right. I'm a raider, and I have a home worth returning to. Everything else slips through my fingers like meltwater. Ahead lies an island of frozen forest, jagged cliffs, and the promise of a long, cold death. Something watches from the shadow. Survive it, remember who you are, and find your way home. Okay? I am mentally average, physically strong, socially weak. Okay, so that means I am dipshit Derek. My lore is abysmal. I know nothing of magic and runes. My combat is average. My insight is weak. I probably have low perception. My survival is weak. What the hell? I'm a Viking raider. What do you mean survival is weak? Bullshit. Okay, my athletics is average. My endurance is strong. My perception is average. Persuasion is abysmal. Anyway, I'm not going to persuade anyone. Intimidation is average. I will intimidate them with my axe. Okay, but, what do we do first? That's the key, right? To make this an adventure, let's make it interesting. First, here we go. Now, I'm going to use the voice function so that we can see how it goes. Yeah? My father's lessons spring to my mind immediately. Survival, what he taught me when I was a boy. The first thing I need to do is scavenge, and so I seek three things. My father's axe, blessed by Thor, so he says. I find it amongst the wreckage, still there. I search for a shield. Every Viking needs a shield. And though mine was long washed away by the waves, I find one, scavenged from a dead comrade. And there we go. Here we go. You see? Anything that I wrote is all here. Okay, I've just added a little bit. Thankfully, it doesn't take me long to find these 2 items. But I know I must hurry. A Viking needs a shield and an axe, right? Here we go. Scavenging first. And now the story reacts to us. Here we go.
Your father's axe. You remember the weight of it in your hand. The balance he swore was a gift from the thunder god himself. You scramble over the splintered ribs of the Drakkar, fingers numb and clumsy, searching through the debris. There, half buried in seaweed and shattered planks, the hand axe lies waiting. The iron is cold, but the grip feels familiar, like shaking an old friend's hand. You heft it. It is yours. Next, a shield. You scan the shoreline, past the unmoving shapes of your shield brothers. One lies face down in the surf, his body battered by the waves. You wade into the freezing water, the shock stealing the breath from your lungs. His shield is still strapped to his arm, a round linden board, painted with a faded sun wheel. You work the leather straps loose. The wood is waterlogged, heavy, but the iron boss is solid. It will turn a blade.
Lol. Sometimes the
Maybe.
AI struggles a bit.
Sentimental. A dead man's shield and an axe you probably stole yourself. Good. A warrior needs his toys. But toys don't stop the cold, Chosen. And they certainly don't stop the wolf.
Okay, so you see this, like, I literally wrote that I found a wooden shield and an axe, and there you go. I have one. All right. So the story actually gives me a wooden shield and an axe. I now have it actually in here. All right. I actually have it in here, which is absolutely cool. Okay, so I've got a hand axe. And although there's no image for it, I have a wooden shield, a heavy wooden shield. You can literally write anything and the story reacts to you. You can put in whatever you want and it will change the tale. If this is something that interests you guys, get it, the demo now. Try it out for yourself because when it drops on Steam, okay, when it drops fully on Steam, I will be playing this. I can't wait to play all the stories they have planned. They have trained this on over 100,000 novels, so it's gonna be interesting. Nah, not a cheater at all, bro. This is a living adventure, Demwolf. You know, think about like when you were young and playing D&D with your friends. This is exactly what it's about. And FYI, you can't cheat too hard, but you can be creative. This whole thing encourages creativity. So use your mind as a weapon. Okay, here's what's going to happen next. I have a warrior's equipment, but now I need to survive. I search again amongst the dead for anyone that still has a dagger. A dagger will be needed when we head into the forest. Otherwise, we will not be able to start a fire with wood splinters. I find a dagger amongst the wreckage. I grab it, and then I head straight for the forest. My limbs are cold, but I must work fast. I need firewood. I need shelter. I need to survive. Now I'm gonna add a little bit. Inside the forest is death. Okay. I need to survive. Inside the forest is death, but on the edge, dry trees and dry wood. Survival. Let's see what it does with my input. Okay, here we go, ladies and gents. Here we go. It's now afternoon.
You turn back to the dead,
Hey, Night Elf.
hands shaking as you rifle through stiff, salt-crusted tunics. A sea axe knife, short and sharp, still sheathed at a dead man's belt. You take it. The leather is cold, but the iron is sound. Clutching your prize, you leave the shore behind and climb the steep, narrow path into the woods. The trees swallow you whole. The spruce here is dense, a wall of dark green needles that blocks the wind, but holds the cold close under its branches. The ground is soft with old moss and new snow, muffling your footsteps. It is quiet here. Too quiet. No birds, only the wind, hissing through the canopy like a serpent. To the north, the forest climbs uphill. South, the trees thin slightly, letting in a pale, sickly light. East and west, the dark paths lead deeper into shadow.
Charming. And you called this place death? I've seen worse. Valhalla, for one. Too much singing. But you're right about one thing. The cold here is patient. It waits. Do you have a plan, or are you just freezing to death with purpose?
So I've just gained a knife. Okay, they've actually added a knife to my inventory. Now this is the Viking's constant companion. Okay, now I don't know if you guys know anything about survival, but I do from writing my campaigns. So here's what we have to do. Here we go. All right, time to add the next part of the story. Proceeding further into the forest is death. What I need is firewood and shelter. I swing my axe, chopping the smallest of the trees, the thinnest, the driest. I hack at them until I have enough wood to build a fire. Fire first. The shelter comes second. In order to make the fire, I use the knife to whittle the wood, creating shavings and burrs so that it will light easier. I start a fire with ease, just like my father taught me. Okay, here we go. So the only thing I've added is survival. Nothing else matters because we want to survive, right? In stories like this, I always make it so that the character, you know, they struggle to overcome the survival, but it must be realistic. I will never write anything that isn't realistic. In case you did not know, this is actually one of the things that adventurers can do. If you try and light a fire just by doing the whole, like, rub the wood thing, yes, that does work to an extent, but if you don't put in like dried wood shavings, there's nothing to catch. The spark needs to catch onto something. All right? Dried leaves, wood, little wood shavings, all this kind of thing. All of it helps to build up and light the fire faster. So this is something that can really, really help. And if you guys know that about survival, you can, you know, roll with that. Would I ban or kill a player like myself? To be perfectly frank, I don't usually do that because it's actually very interesting when they bring up unique ways to do stuff. That's actually part of being a DM. You can have all the plans you want, but a player could completely overcome them with a creative mindset, and that is why we play. So, yeah, you have to allow creativity, and that's what this game allows. So let's go.
The axe bites into the spruce, a solid, satisfying thunk that vibrates up your arm. You work fast, ignoring the ache in your shoulders, the numbness in your fingers. Dead branches, dry twigs, the heartwood of a fallen sapling. You gather it all. When you have enough, you drop the pile in a small clearing between the roots of a great birch. Kneeling in the snow, you draw the sea axe knife. The blade is sharp. You shave curls of birch bark, whittle the dry wood into fine, feathery splinters. Your father's voice echoes in your memory. Start small. Feed it slow. You strike the flint. Sparks shower the tinder. A wisp of smoke, then a flame. It catches, hungry and bright. You feed it, and within moments, a crackling fire pushes back the forest's shadow.
Okay. Oh, it worked! Oh my god, it actually understood
Fire.
what I'm doing.
The first thing man stole from the gods. Prometheus got his liver eaten for it. Let's hope your fate is less visceral. You have warmth. You have light. But the sun is sinking, Chosen. What happens when the light dies?
Oh my god. And it added birch bark into my inventory. Like, the crazy thing is that this thing knows. It actually understands. Like, this is amazing. This is freaking amazing. Guys, alright, please support this game. I don't normally do this. Look, I'm telling you, I'm sponsored, yes. But I won't normally be this enthusiastic. You've seen some of my other sponsored streams. I just go through the motions most of the time. But yo, I hope you can feel the genuine excitement, because this, they need to add co-op. They need to add co-op, because imagine, we all take turns and we all start playing the adventure and everybody's like writing their own thing and it all piles onto each other. That's the experience I want. That's the experience that so many of us can't have, because look, this, we no longer just live in a neighborhood where you get along with your geeky friends and go to somebody's basement to play D&D. That doesn't happen anymore. Not in this day and age. But this, imagine if we had co-op. Please support this game so that the devs can grow it. Support this game so that we can experience, like, I want to experience dozens of stories. They've got dozens planned. The demo only has one, but they have dozens planned. So I'm going to ask you guys sincerely. I'm going to say it every time. Go wishlist this game right now. Play the demo. All right. Let the devs know you're into it, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be an adventure that you will enjoy, because it's your story, your adventure. Be as creative as you want. All right. There ain't no set path here. All right. There's no build guide. You don't need that. You have your mind. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I have warmth and light, but the sun is sinking. I still have wet clothing, right? What happens when the light dies? Drying my clothing is the next step. I remove it quickly so it can dry by the fire, but my heart is racing because there is but one thing I need to do. Build a shelter. My father's voice echoes in my mind, along with the insults from my brother for never being as good as he was. I start to carve the wood. I try not to think. Instead, I remember only how to build a shelter, a rudimentary one, but one that will serve the night. I must survive. I must live. Oh, I start to carve the wood. Okay, here we go. I'm making full use of the 512 characters. Drying my clothing is the next step. I remove it quickly so it can dry by the fire, but my heart is racing because there is but one thing I need to do. Build a shelter. My father's voice echoes in my mind, along with the insults from my brother for never being as good as he was. I start to carve the wood. I try not to think. Instead, I remember only how to build a shelter. A rudimentary one, but one that will serve the night. I must survive. I must live. A lean-to for the night, and torches for the shadows. Eh? Let's go.
You strip off the soaked wool and linen, the fabric heavy and clinging to your skin like a second freezing hide. Naked in the biting air, you spread your garments over branches near the fire, the heat already teasing steam from the wet fibers. Your brother's mockery echoes in your ears. Soft hands, he'd sneer. But your hands are steady now. You turn to the wood you gathered. The axe rises and falls, rhythm and muscle memory guiding the blade. You trim saplings, lash them together with strips of peeling birch bark, and lean the frame against the windward side of a great spruce. It is crude, a child's hut, but it will break the wind. You set aside the driest pieces of wood, splitting them into thin batons for torches, wrapping the tops in birch bark and resin.
Okay, my clothing is drying. Makeshift shelter. Torques. Torques? Torches.
A brother's voice. Sharp, was it? Brothers are
I just
like that,
love how the
always
raven
measuring
even
themselves
reacts.
against each other, finding the other wanting. At least you remember the sound of him. That's more than most have here.
The fire crackles, consuming the wood you feed it. The sun dipped lower, the shadows stretching
nuts,
long
bros.
and thin
This is
across the
nuts. Hey,
forest
Eddie.
floor like spilled ink. The light is fading, turning the gray sky a bruised purple.
Your clothes are drying, steam rising in thin wisps. The shelter stands ready, a dark mouth against the spruce roots. The torches lie stacked beside you, waiting for a spark. The forest is quiet, but the silence feels heavy, watchful.
This is honestly nuts. This is honestly nuts. Like, for real, man. For real. This is crazy. Like, anything that I write, it does it. Yeah, I'm not trying to break the AI. I'm actually having an adventure, Eddie. Okay, if you've got a PC, you gotta try this, bro. You gotta try this. It's so cool. Like, you can just write anything, and it's awesome. Okay, dude, so far, like, I've been writing stuff about, like, my father's axe, you know, my brother's voice and everything. It takes all of that, works it into the story. This is an RPG where you are in total control. All right, there's no option A, B, C, none of that boring shit, man. This is the real deal. Holy shit. Finally. Like I said, this is literally my childhood all over again. Finally, I am here. I mean, sure, it's not co-op, it's just me. But it reminds me of the times when, you know, it was me, two buddies, the dungeon master, and we used our minds, we used our imagination, went on these fantastic adventures. That this is your adventure. You can do it whatever way you want. Now, it's still afternoon. All right. So here we go. With my clothing now dry, and the last of the light. No. Wait, stop. No. 1 second. Let me think. Let me think about how I want to word this. With my clothing now dry, and the last of the light fading. You can do that? You can, oh, I guess when you create a character, right? I never tried that. So is that during character creation? Because, yo, I need to try that shit. I actually need to try that shit. Yo, Dem Wolf coming up with that, man. I'm gonna do that then on my next playthrough. Oh shit. So the character, because I haven't tried the character creation yet. I chose the base character, but dude, you can scan yourself into the story. Okay, that shit is cray. I have to try that. I'm gonna throw up a gang sign when it scans me. That's epic, Dem. Thanks for telling us. Hey, that's pretty cool, man. This is getting cooler by the second, yo. Holy shit. Okay, wait. Let me think. How am I going to break this as much as I can? With the last of the day's light fading, I check to see if I can make it to the cliffs. I need to know where I am. I need to see the horizon, to know if there is a pathway forward. The cliffs don't look too far. I haven't gone long from the beach, so I go there. I go there and I survey the situation. Where am I? How large is this island and how much longer do I have to go? The day is not long, but my heart longs for memory. Let's go. Okay. It's now golden hour.
You leave the fire crackling behind you, climbing the steep path that leads up from the forest floor. The air grows thinner and colder as you ascend, the trees thinning until you stand at the edge of the low cliffs. The golden hour light spills across the island, painting the snow in hues of amber and blood. Below you, the land unfolds a jagged circle of rock and ice. To the west, the coast cuts inward with black fjords where the wreckage of your ship lies scattered. South, a narrow beach stretches toward open water. East, the forest thickens into a dark mass, and beyond it, far across a frozen expanse of white, you see the distant gray smudge of the mainland. The ice passage glitters in the dying light, a fragile bridge over death.
There, the mainland. Close enough to spit on, far enough to die in. You have until the red moon rises. That passage won't hold forever, and neither will you.
The wind howls across the cliff edge, tugging at your damp clothes. Below, in the forest you just left, a massive oak tree stands apart from the pines, its branches gnarled and ancient.
A crude structure clings to its upper boughs platforms, a rope ladder, smoke rising from a fire pit. Someone lives there. Somewhere to the north, higher cliffs loom, their tops lost in the mist. A wolf howls, closer than before, echoing through the valleys.
Okay, a crude structure clings to its upper boughs. A massive oak tree. And I might try to pull some surprise thing, but so far I'm just gonna try and play the story like actual player. And dude, this is just making me relive D&D. So yeah, I'm gonna bring out that narrator voice. Okay, here's what we have to do. Smoke. Smoke rising from a fire pit. Someone lives there. Hope. Hope in the distance. I must make it to the massive oak. I measure the distance. Tomorrow. That is where my journey goes. Food and water. I will need that. But survival. Survival dictates that I must find others. Civilization. Even a small flicker of it. That is where I must go. The massive oak. I must make it to the massive. Okay, so Here's what I wrote. Smoke. Smoke rising from a fire pit. Someone lives there. Hope. Hope in the distance. I must make it to the massive oak tree. I measure the distance. Tomorrow. That is where my journey goes. Food and water. I will need that as well. But survival? Survival dictates that I must find others. Civilization. Even a small flicker of it. Sorry, I like to have proper punctuation. That is where I must go. The massive oak, a mass of hope. I return to the fire and my lean-to to prepare for the journey ahead. It will not be easy, but I will survive. Okay, send. Let's go. Now it's sundown.
You descend the cliff path, the golden light fading behind the western peaks. The forest swallows you again. Darker now, the shadows stretching long and twisted between the spruce trunks. Your campfire still burns, a small orange eye in the gathering gloom. The lean-to stands against the spruce roots, a fragile shell against the coming night. You check your clothes mostly dry now, stiff with salt and heat. You pull them on, the wool rough against your skin, but warm. The torches lie ready, wrapped in birch bark. The massive oak you spotted from the cliffs is a dark silhouette to the northeast, its branches clawing at the sky. The sun dipped below the horizon. The sky burns salmon and violet, then bruises into deep purple. The temperature drops. The cold doesn't just touch you now. It presses in, heavy and patient. A wolf howls in the distance, closer than before. The sound echoes through the trees, bouncing off the ancient oak and the unseen cliffs. Then silence. No birds, no small animals. Just the wind hissing through the needles and the crackle of your fire.
Tomorrow. A bold word. Assumes the night doesn't eat you first. That oak. It's old. Older than this rock. Someone lives there. Or something. Sleep well, Chosen. If you can.
The firelight flickers against the spruce bark, casting dancing shadows that look like reaching hands. You have shelter, you have fire, you have a plan. But the forest feels awake, watching. The night is long, and the moon is rising.
Okay. Here's what we have to do. As the day and the night wears on, my thoughts drift back to my father's words. To sleep with one eye open. Actually, it was my brother that taught me that. I would always sleep, restless, during nights like this. To prepare for enemy attack. To prepare for what might come in the night. That was the life of a raider, and it served me well. I slept, but with one eye open, waiting. Now with proper punctuation. Restless during nights like this to prepare for enemy attack. Okay, here's what I wrote. As the day and night wears on, my thoughts drift back to my father's words, to sleep with one eye open. Actually, it was my brother that taught me that. I would always sleep, restless, during nights like this, to prepare for enemy attack, to prepare for what might come in the night. That was the life of a raider, and it served me well. I slept, but with one eye open, listening for the howls listening for growls just beyond the shadow's edge. Would the wolves hunt or leave me be? Let's see what they say. I'm eager to see how they handle this. Okay, it's dusk now.
The fire settles to a bed of glowing coals, casting long, flickering shadows against the spruce trunks. You wrap yourself in your cloak, the wool still stiff with salt, and lie in the lean-to. Your brother's voice echoes in your mind, one eye open, so you do not truly sleep.
You drift in the gray space between waking and dreaming, jerking at every snapping twig, every rustle of wind. The forest deepens around you. The last light bleeds from the sky, leaving a dome of stars hard and bright as spear points. The cold intensifies, a living thing that creeps through the gaps in your shelter.
Restless. Good. The dead sleep soundly. The living twitch. Do you hear them? The grey ones. They're calling to each other.
A wolf howls, closer now, not a distant echo but a sound from the next valley. Another answers, sharp and urgent. Then silence again, heavy and waiting. The fire pops, sending a shower of sparks upward. You stare into the darkness between the trees, your hand tight on the axe handle. Shapes seem to move in the periphery of your vision, shadows that stretch and twist like living things. The massive oak looms to the northeast, its branches black against the stars. Smoke still rises from the platform in its boughs. Whoever lives there is awake.
The Oak Man. He watches too, but he doesn't see what I see. The moon is rising, chosen, and it's getting redder.
A twig snaps nearby, loud, deliberate. Then the low guttural growl of a predator just beyond the firelight. Your instincts scream something is there, just outside the circle of warmth and light. The fire is burning low. You have wood, but to reach it means leaving the shelter's cover.
Well, of course I'll leave the shelter's cover. My father's voice echoes in my mind. Get up, boy. Do what you need to do, he says. And so I do. Like a doll. Hang on, wait, no. That's not right. Let me think. Because I want to say like a machine, but there's no machines in a fantasy. It has to be realistic. So I was thinking like a puppet. No. Maybe I just won't roll with the flowery language. Yeah, you know what? I think yeah, okay. Oh, it won't let me transcribe. Okay, so I have to type it. Fine. I'll recite it for you once I'm done writing. Okay, here we go. Here is what I'm going to write. This time it's the voice of my father that wakes me. Get up, boy. Do what you have to do. I start awake and heft my axe and shield. I move cautiously, gathering the wood and tossing it to help the fire burn brighter. I never look at it directly, a raider's trick. My vision needs to stay adjusted to the dark. I listen, one hand on my axe handle, my shield strapped to the other arm. Should they come for me tonight? They'll not find me easy prey. In fact, I hoped they would. I needed food after all. FYI, just so you know, these are actual things that people do. You avoid looking directly at the fire when you're lighting it, because if it's nighttime and you do that, your vision will have trouble adjusting
You
to the
move
dark.
without thinking, muscle memory seizing control. Your father's shout rings in your ears as you grab a log from the pile and toss it onto the dying coals. The fire surges, flames licking higher, casting a harsh orange glare against the surrounding spruce. You keep your eyes averted from the blaze, letting the darkness sharpen your vision. The growl cuts off abruptly as the light flares, but you can feel them out there, eyes reflecting the fire, shadows detaching themselves from the tree line. Your grip tightens on the axe handle. The shield feels heavy on your arm, a wall between you and the dark. You are not prey. You are a raider of Northumbria, and if they want meat, they will bleed for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bold. Stupid but bold. Do you see them? The grey ones. They circle. They test. One mistake and you're just another pile of bones in the snow.
A pair of yellow eyes appears at the edge of the firelight low to the ground. Unwavering. Then another pair, further left. The shapes materialize slowly. Lean, gaunt wolves, their fur matted with ice and blood. They do not charge. They pace, just outside the reach of the flames, their lips curled back to reveal yellowed fangs. The largest one, a scarred alpha with a chunk missing from its ear, steps forward and snaps its jaws, testing your reaction. The fire crackles, popping loudly in the tense silence. They are hungry, and they are many.
Oh, I love this. Okay, here's how we're gonna do it. Wait. What happened to the voice thing? What? Well, doesn't really matter. I can type anyway. Oh, wait, did it just send blank? Hold up. Let me just back to library. I did not mean to send that. Continue. Okay, so that's something that they will have to adjust, because if it's just sending the voice that I recorded before, then the recording is gonna have issues. Okay, fight off the wolf pack. Anyway, I have to roll the dice, so there is a skill check, FYI. If I score, I failed. But I can choose to re-roll or add a success. It's really up to you. All you need is one success, but either way. We can spend a story point. And it says spend one story point for a bonus 6. You can choose to accept the failure or not. You know what? I'm going to spend the story point and add a success. Because unfortunately I rolled a 1. Okay, time to fight them off. So you will have to roll the dice. And you have to succeed at least once.
The alpha lunges, jaws snapping for your throat. You meet it with the shield, the iron boss slamming into its snout with a wet crunch. It yelps, stumbling back. You swing the axe in a wide arc, the heavy blade biting deep into the shoulder of the next wolf. It shrieks, a high-pitched sound of pain and surprise, and turns to flee. The pack hesitates, their hunger warring with the sudden violence of their prey. You roar, a sound borrowed from your father and your brother, and press forward, axe flashing in the firelight. The alpha snarls one last time, blood dripping from its ruined muzzle, then turns and melts into the shadows. The others follow, tails tucked, disappearing into the dark as quickly as they came.
Look at them run. Not so brave when the sheep has teeth. But you're bleeding, Chosen. And the night is young.
Can I rewind one turn? Let's try this function. I do plan on that because it was incorrect. I mean, I will happily fight again, but let's use this function so that I can rewind and then I'll properly type what I had planned. That was unfortunate, but let's do this right. Okay. I'll write it first and then I'll recite it for you. Okay, here we go. This sounds better. I smile, a cold grin. 5 wolves, but I only had to kill 1. The others would not pounce until the alpha did, and we were both hungry. I raised the shield and charged with surprising alacrity. The alpha wasn't expecting it. I smashed my shield into its muzzle and swing with a berserker's frenzy. It was a beast. It was meat. I was gambling that the others wouldn't pounce as I hacked their leader to gore and gristle. My gambit paid off. They whimpered back into the shadows. A fool's gambit won. Let's try it this way. Oh yeah? Nice. That's pretty cool.
Your lips peel back in a grin that feels more like a snarl. 5 wolves, 1 leader. The math is simple. You explode from the firelight, boots digging into the snow, shield raised like a ram. The Alpha's eyes widen, a flash of surprise before the iron rim of your shield smashes into its snout with a sickening crunch.
Bone gives way. The beast yelps, stumbling backward. You are already moving, the axe singing through the air in a wild arc. The others freeze, their pack discipline shattered by the sudden violence. You swing for the kill.
Okay, here we go. Roll the dice. I believe. Damn it. Okay, let's accept it. Let's see what happens if my fate doesn't go well. I had a 5, but I also had a 1. Bugger.
Your axe whistled through empty air. The Alpha is faster than it looked, twisting its head aside with a fluid, predatory grace. The momentum of your miss carries you forward, off balance. Before you can recover, the beast strikes. Jaws like iron traps clamp onto your shield arm, teeth crunching through wool and flesh. You scream, more in shock than pain, and try to jerk free, but the wolf shakes its head violently, tearing the muscle. The pack explodes into motion. They don't attack the Alpha's target. They flank you. A heavy body slams into your legs. Another snaps at your heels. You stumble, going down hard in the snow. The axe slips from your numb fingers. Teeth graze your ribs, finding the gap between leather and mail. A hot line of pain opens across your side. You kick wildly, your boot connecting with snout and fur, driving them back for a heartbeat. It's enough. You scramble backward, groping for the axe, throwing yourself toward the fire.
The flames flare as you roll into the light, singeing your hair, or putting a barrier between you and the shadows. The wolves halt at the edge of the glow, panting, yellow eyes fixed on your blood. The Alpha licks its chops, watching you with a cold, calculating hunger. It
A
knows you're
fool's
hurt.
gambit indeed. They smell your blood now, Chosen. It's sweet to them. Can you hold them until sunrise? Or until the red moon rises?
Oh, I'm gonna hold them
Your
all
left
right.
arm throbs where the Alpha bit you, blood soaking your sleeve and dripping onto the snow. Your ribs ache where the wolf raked you. The fire is your only wall, and it is burning low. The wolves pace in the darkness, just beyond the light, waiting for the coals to die. The night stretches out before you, cold and full of teeth.
Okay. I laugh. Okay, here we go. They want to take on a Viking. I'm a berserker, man. I laugh, a big hearty laugh. If I'm to die here, then I die as a Viking. Valhalla accepts no cowards, and neither did my father. I rush the Alpha again, adrenaline dulling the pain. Victory, survival, all were intertwined. I strike like a madman, focused, a man of determination and sheer will. I hack at the alpha until it's dead, my war cry bursting from my lips. It was my brother's favorite cry. Blood and death. Let's go. I will roll again. If I'm to die, then I go to Valhalla and glory, peeps.
Laughter bursts from your throat, raw and wild, echoing through the silent trees. Your blood is hot. Your arm screams where the teeth tore it. But the pain is distant, drowned by the roar in your ears. You are a raider. You are a son of the North. You do not die
Damn
whimpering
right.
in the snow. You charge. The Alpha's eyes widen as you rush it, a howling demon in the firelight. It expected prey. It found a storm. Your shield slams into its chest, driving the beast back, and your axe rises, falling with the weight of your fury and your father's ghost behind it. Blood and death. The war cry tears from your lips, a promise and a prayer, as the blade descends.
Alright, difficulty 6. Let's go. I live or die. I win, bitches. Massive success. And this
The
is
axe
why
connects
we
with
play.
the sound of a butcher's cleaver splitting bone. The Alpha's head snaps back, its skull caved in by the blow, and it drops like a stone into the snow. Blood sprays across your chest, hot and steaming in the freezing air. You stand over the corpse, chest heaving, your war cry still echoing in the trees. The pack freezes. They stare at the fallen leader, then at you, the madman standing in the firelight with their Alpha's blood on his tunic. A low whimper breaks the silence, then another. They back away, tails tucked, melting into the shadows one by one, until the forest is empty, but for the dead wolf at your feet.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
The adrenaline begins to fade, and the pain returns with interest. Your left arm throbs where the teeth tore through the muscle, blood soaking your sleeve and dripping onto the snow. Your ribs ache with every breath, a sharp, grinding pain where the wolf raked you. You are alive, but you are hurt. The fire crackles behind you, a small island of warmth in the cold, dark woods. The massive oak looms to the northeast, its branches black against the stars. Smoke still rising from the treehouse.
Ha! Did you see them run? The grey ones know death when they see it. But you're bleeding, Chosen. A lot. That arm looks chewed.
Bleeding arm, bruised ribs, exhausted pain. Yeah? Okay. Cool. I gained raw wolf meat. Okay, guys, here we go. I had to get to the treehouse. It was the only way to survive. But before that, field care. Pain was nothing new to me. I lit a small piece of wood and cauterized my own wounds. The pain was intense and I nearly blacked out twice. But each time I remembered my father's voice. Get up, boy. You're not done yet. When I could move my limbs again, I went to the corpse of the Alpha and sated my thirst by drinking what remained of the blood in its body. Blood was nourishment. Blood would quench. Then, onward. Just so you know, you can actually drink blood if you're desperate. Not the greatest idea, though. You can get all sorts of diseases, but you can actually drink it. Hey, it actually says cauterize my arm wound. Yeah!
The pain is a white-hot spike that drives you to your knees. You press the burning brand against the torn flesh of your arm. The smell of searing meat filling your nostrils, sick and sweet. Your vision blurs, the forest spinning into a gray haze. Get up, boy. Your father's voice growls from the darkness, cutting through the haze. You grit your teeth, a scream strangled in your throat, and press harder. When the darkness recedes, the wound is a blackened crater, sealed against the bleeding. You gasp, sweat freezing on your forehead, and crawl to the dead Alpha.
Thanks, Sir Tommy.
The body is still warm.
Dude, you gotta try this
You
game,
tear
bro.
at the throat with
Get
your
the
teeth.
demo.
The copper tang of blood flooding your mouth. It is hot, salty, thick.
You will like it.
It coats your throat like liquid fire. You drink until your stomach heaves, then wipe your mouth with the back of a trembling hand. The strength returns, slow and heavy, like lead settling in your limbs.
Savage. Your father would be proud. Or horrified. Hard to tell with fathers. But you're standing. That's something.
You leave the fire and the butchered carcass behind, stumbling through the deepening dusk toward the massive oak.
It's a demo right now,
The
but
forest
you
is
should
silent
try it
now.
out. It's so good.
The wolves driven back by the
Well,
scent of their
if you like
leader's
creative
blood,
gameplay.
and your madness. The tree rises before you, a titan of black bark against the fading light. Its branches are gnarled like arthritic fingers, clutching at the sky. High above, a crude platform clings to the trunk, smoke curling from a fire pit. A rope ladder dangles down, swaying slightly in the wind. The runes carved into the bark seem to shimmer in the gloom, ancient and watching. You stand at the base of the tree, looking up. The ladder is your only way up.
Okay, here we go. What choice did I have? Okay, here we go. And of course, I added a bit of my own flair to it. What choice did I have? I climbed the ladder upward, ignoring the pain. Ghosts of my father and brother taunting me the entire way. My own delirium laughing at me like a cruel shadow. I would find help from whoever lived here. Or I would take it. That is what it meant to be a raider. That is what it meant to be a Viking. The runes on the tree looked ancient, but the thought of whimsical gods never crossed my mind. Perhaps it was a prankster's trick, a trial before Valhalla. I knew not. I simply climbed. Let's go. And the best part is, it's now going to work this into the story. I can't wait. Ooh,
You
this
grip
is
the
the
rough
treehouse.
hemp of the rope ladder, the fibers biting into your palms. The first pull sends a jolt of fire through your cauterized arm, but you grit your teeth and heave. The ladder swings wildly with your weight, creaking against the trunk. Your ribs scream with every lift, the bruised bone grinding against itself. The ground falls away, the dark forest floor spinning below your boots. You are halfway up, the platform still 2 body lengths above, when your grip slips on a frayed section of rope.
Okay, climb the ladder without falling. Roll the dice. I will live or die. Haha! Success! Success! I did not fall. And ladies and gents, this is why we play D&D. I live, bitch. You can't get me.
Your grip holds. You roar through gritted teeth, hauling your weight up the final stretch. The rope bites into your skin, the cauterized wound on your arm throbbing in time with your heartbeat. You swing a leg over the edge of the platform and collapse onto the rough planks, gasping for air.
Okay, this one, the AI voice failed. It does that from time to time, but the wood is warm beneath you, radiating heat from the fire pit in the center. Smoke curls around you, thick with scent of burning pine and something else. Dried herbs, old blood, and unwashed bodies. What?
You push yourself up, swaying slightly. The platform is a clutter of strange things. Animal skulls hanging from the branches on leather thongs, bundles of dried herbs swaying in the wind, and runes carved into every surface of the oak bark, wood, even the railing. In the center, a small fire crackles, casting long dancing shadows against the crude walls of a shack built into the tree's crown. A man sits by the fire, his back to you. He wears a patchwork of furs, his hair a wild gray tangle adorned with bones and feathers. He does not turn, but you hear him muttering, a low, rhythmic chant that sounds like words and like wind.
Well, you didn't fall. Small victories. The madman hasn't noticed you yet. Or maybe he has and doesn't care.
The raven. Yes. The wind speaks of blood. Who climbs to God's speech? The dead or the dying?
Hmm. Okay. Let's leave it a bit open-ended. My name. I remember it in this moment. Ulfric climbs, I respond, and Ulfric seeks aid. I stay guarded, but I ask the hermit for aid, and if the gods are kind, perhaps he will give it to me. I just need to recover. Recover enough to seek my memories across the island. Let's go with that and see if it will work. Okay. He says, Wolf Ruler, a strong name for a bleeding man. Aid? The gods give aid. Men only trade. Okay. Sure.
Ulfric, Wolf Ruler, a strong name for a bleeding man. Aid? The gods give aid. Men only trade.
Okay, you know what? I will do the narrations. He's bargaining already, and you haven't even offered him anything but your pain. Interesting. You carry the wolf's scent and the fire's. Come closer, Ulfric. The fire is warm, and the gods are watching. The hermit turns slowly, his pale blue eyes fixing on you. They seem to look through you, past the blood and the bruises to something else entirely. He gestures to the fire pit, with a hand tattooed with runes, the movement fluid and strange. The heat from the flames is a physical weight against the cold night air, pulling you in. I feel drawn to the fire. I feel drawn to it. Hang on, wait. You know what? We need just a little bit of atmosphere, and I have the perfect one. I have the perfect one. While I write this response, so let's add a little bit of atmosphere, shall we?
Þar sem storm rindir, sofðu nú undir augum mínum, andaðu í seiðurum mínum, láttu nóttina.
Okay, I'll pause there, but that's my own music. I thought I'd just add a bit of atmosphere. Here's what I'm gonna write. I feel drawn to the fire, locked hypnotically within its gaze. Within it, I see the vulva dancing, and I watch with eager interest. Something in her chant speaks to my soul. It warms me from the inside, and I feel both strong and weak at the same time. I listen to the words of the hermit as I sit and watch the witch dancing in the flickering flames. I listen to what he has to say. Let's go. You know what? They need to hire me for like my Viking music. It'd be so perfect for the story. Now, since the narration is buggered, I will handle it myself. You sink onto the rough planks beside the fire pit, the heat washing over your bruised and battered body. The flames lick at the air, casting long shadows that dance like living things against the rune-carved walls of the shack. The pain in your arm and ribs fade into a dull throb, replaced by a strange, heavy warmth that spreads through your chest. The fire shifts, the orange glow turning deep red, and for a moment, the crackling wood sounds like chanting voices. In the heart of the flames, a shape forms. A woman in a flowing cloak, her movements fluid and hypnotic as she weaves between the tongues of fire. You cannot look away. Her dance pulls at something deep inside you, a memory just out of reach, a name on the tip of your tongue. You feel strong, as if the fire itself is lending you strength, yet weak, like a child before the storm. You see her, the seer. The fire shows many things to those who carry the blood, the hermit says. Does she speak to you, Ulfric, or do you only hear your own fate calling? Yeah? The raven says, it's just wood burning, survivor. Smoke and heat playing tricks on a mind that's been half frozen and half starved. But if you see a dancing woman in the flames, who am I to judge? The gods are close tonight. The wolf child prowls. The All-Father watches. You seek aid? What can a dead man offer that the gods have not already taken? The answer to his question comes without hesitation from my lips. I'll recite it all once I'm done. Okay, here we go, here we go. A little bit of Game of Thrones thrown in there, yeah? The answer to his question comes without hesitation from my lips. I offer my steel and my blood in service to the All-Father. I do not say this lightly either, hermit. I understand that I am between the worlds now, between life and death. To return to the living, I must survive this place of death. I ask only for what you might provide, nothing more, nothing less. A kindness to your kin, who serves the same gods you do. If you are willing, I will pay the iron price. Well, let's see if it'll take, guys. The iron price, a trader's word from a warrior's lips. You speak of service, Ulfric, but service is not spoken. It is done. The All-Father does not need your steel. He has enough of that in the world. What he needs is eyes, ears, a hand that does not shake when the shadows move. He's testing you, the raven says. Or maybe he's just lonely and likes the sound of his own voice. A hand that does not shake. You're trembling like a leaf in a gale. Sit.
The fire is yours for now. But if you stay, you'll earn your warmth.
The island is hungry tonight. There's always work for those willing to bleed. The hermit tosses a bundle of dried herbs onto the fire. The flames flare up briefly, turning a deep, smoky blue. The air fills with a pungent, earthy scent that clears the fog from your mind, though it does nothing for the pain in your arm or ribs. He gestures to a spot opposite him, closer to the heat. The platform creaks as you settle down, the wood rough against your bruised body. Below, the forest is a black pit, the wolf howls sounding closer than before. You seek memories, Ulfric. They're heavy things. Sometimes they are better left buried in the snow. But if you're determined, tell me, what is the last thing you remember before the waves took you? Now let's get creative here. I feel as if I cannot lie, much as I am embarrassed to say. Okay, here we go. I feel as if I cannot lie, much as I'm embarrassed to say. Freya, I answer. No problem. I will just recite the story myself. Don't you worry. That much I can handle. Please, your game is very good. I really hope to see more stories, and I want this to be a success. Hopefully in future, we can have co-op and stuff like that. But thank you for taking your time to check in. I'm more on YouTube than I am on Twitch, but I hope you will keep working on this. It's fantastic, honestly. Now, where was I? Right. Freya, I answer. I remember seeing her staring down at me as the waves swallowed me. I remember seeing the bodies of my shield brothers and sisters swirling in the waves, but she did not look at them. She only looked at me, like I had something left to prove. I turned toward the hermit. I will stay and I will heal, and I will pay whatever price is needed in action, not trade or words. Valhalla accepts no cowards. So let's send that in and see what the story creates from there. Okay. I'll pause the narration and I'll do it myself. The hermit's eyes widen at the name, the pale blue irises reflecting the firelight like chips of ice. He leans forward, the bones and feathers in his hair rattling softly with movement. The wind seems to die down around the platform, as if the forest itself is holding its breath. Freya, the Lady of the Slain, she chose you, Ulfric. She looked at you. That is a heavy burden, and a heavy gift. Freya, the Lady of the Slain. Of course, a goddess. Why not? First Odin, now Freya. Soon you'll be claiming Thor lent you that axe. The raven doubts. Ravens always doubt. They see everything and believe in nothing. But I see the mark on you, Ulfric. The fire in your blood. You say you will pay the iron price, then bleed for the living, not the dead. Torolf. Hey, he's the character. Now we've unlocked the character. Torolf rises slowly, his joints popping in the cold air. He gestures toward the flap of leather that serves as a door to the shack built into the tree's crown. The heat from the fire pit radiates from the opening, promising warmth and shelter from the encroaching night. Come inside. The wind is growing teeth tonight. You will heal, and then we will speak of what needs to be done. The gods are not finished with you yet. Yes! Let me heal! Into the madman's lair. What could possibly go wrong? Go wrong. Never mind. Okay, pretend I said the right words. Okay, here we go. All right, let's read this out, yeah? I follow Torolf. Healing and survival comes first, and if the gods have a test for me, then I will do what needs to be done without question. Let the ravens doubt. Let them mock me even as they remember all they've seen. For the ravens are Odin's messengers, and the All-Father will see me tested. I will pass the trial. I will survive. But first, I must heal. Strength is what I will need to face the wolf within and without. Yeah,
You
survival
duck through the
time.
leather flap, the heavy hide brushing against your shoulders. The air
Oh, there we
inside
go.
is
Voice
thick
is back.
with heat, and the smell of dried sage, wood smoke, and something medicinal bitter and sharp. The shack is cramped, built into the crook of the ancient oak's massive boughs. Shelves carved into the living wood are lined with clay jars, bundles of herbs, and strange objects. Bones, feathers, stones smoothed by river water. A bed of furs and dried moss occupies one corner, the only clear space on the floorboards. The fire pit here is smaller than the one outside, a bed of glowing coals that radiates a steady, penetrating warmth.
Close the flap. The wind has ears tonight. Sit by the coals, Ulfric. Let the heat into your bones.
Cozy. Like a grave lined with fur. At least you'll die warm.
Torolf moves to a low table cluttered with mortars and pestles, his movements careful and practiced. He begins to crush something dried and green with a stone, the rhythmic grinding filling the small space. He doesn't look at you, his focus entirely on the mixture, but his muttering continues, a low stream of words that sound half prayer, half curse.
Okay, he asks me. Pain is a teacher, but sometimes the lesson is too long. You said Freya looked at you. What did her eyes say, Ulfric? Well, let's find out. What did her eyes say? Hmm. Okay, here we go, here we go. I think for a moment, actually think, but again, I answer without hesitation. Her eyes were motherly but cold, like she gazed at a son whom she hoped would be so much more. I chuckled to myself. Perhaps that is why I was the only one to survive. I have to be so much more. I wondered why I was so sure of that, but it rolled off the tongue, as if the words themselves gave me purpose. Her eyes told me that the gods were not yet finished with me, that the story of Ulfric had more to tell. Excuse me. All right, let's go.
Motherly, yet cold. Aye, that is the lady. She loves fiercely, but she does not coddle. You survived because she saw potential, Ulfric, not because you were lucky.
Potential. A dangerous word. It implies you haven't failed yet. Give it time.
Hold out your arm. The wound needs binding before the salve.
Torolf sets aside the stone mortar and picks up a clay jar. He scoops out a thick greenish paste that smells sharply of pine and something minty. His fingers are cool and dry against your hot, inflamed skin, as he spreads the salve over the cauterized crater on your arm. The sting is sharp at first, then quickly numbs into a dull, cold relief.
This will draw out the heat. Keep the wound covered. You say you must be so much more. To what end, Ulfric? What waits for you beyond this trial?
I love that it works with everything that I write. Oh my god, this is epic. Okay. Hang on, wait. I gotta look up a word. I can't believe I'm diving back into my old writing skills here. Yep. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Okay, so let me read this for you. I really am getting into this writing stuff. Perhaps it was relief that made me maudlin, but my response surprised me. Home, I said. I have to return home. I looked at Torolf and spoke honestly. There's a handsome woman in the village I'd been intent on proposing to, and I planned on doing so after this raid. I also have to till the fields and plant the next crop in spring, and come the summer, we'll raid again, and I will either go to glory or return wealthy. But all of that starts where it first begins, with home and hearth.
Torolf finishes wrapping the linen strips around your arm, securing the salve in place. His movements are gentle, belying the wildness of his appearance. He ties off the bandage with a practiced knot and sits back, his pale eyes studying your face as you speak of home, of fields, and a woman waiting.
Home. A powerful
Hey,
word.
Lewis.
It pulls men across oceans and drives them into the wolf's mouth. A woman to return to. That is a fine thing. But the sea does not care for your crops, Ulfric. And the winter does not wait for love.
A farmer. All this talk of tilling and planting. You're a raider, survivor. You kill people and take their things. The plowshare is a heavy burden for a hand that holds an axe.
Hey, Lewis, you have to check out this game when you get the chance, man. It's a demo right now, but literally everything you write just gets worked into the story. It's pretty nutty.
Let him dream, Raven. Dreams are warm. Rest now, Ulfric. The coals will hold the cold at bay. We speak of deeds when the sun returns.
Okay, great.
Torolf rises and moves to the shelves, selecting a fur blanket which he drapes over your shoulders. It smells of smoke and old fur, but it is thick and warm. He gestures to the bed of moss in the corner, then settles himself by the coals, staring into the glowing red depths, as if listening to a voice only he can hear.
Yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm gonna write. You got a problem? Hmm. Okay, there we go. You ready for my narration? I close my eyes and let sleep take me. Tonight I will heal. Tonight I will rest, and when the sun returns, I will listen to whatever deeds I must perform. Let the ravens call it a dream, but no man can raid when the ice freezes the land, and no man can fill his belly on gold coins and jewels. A man is both raider and farmer. He takes care of his homestead and his kin, and brings them glory with his axe. A man is many things, and I dream of them all. All right, now let's see where the story takes us, yeah? I'll give it a moment to start up. If not, there we go. Okay, Moonrise.
Sleep drags you down into the dark, not the cold, featureless dark of the sea, but the warm, golden dark of the hearth.
You see the fields of home, the long furrows of earth turned black and waiting for spring.
You see the woman, her face clear for the first time since the wreck fair hair. Strong hands, eyes that hold yours without fear.
She stands by the door of your hall, waiting. You feel the weight of the plow in your hand.
You know what? I think I'll just narrate it myself because it seems that they might still be having trouble with the voices a little bit. Okay, my apologies. Here we go. Sleep drags you down into the dark, not the cold, featureless dark of the sea, but the warm, golden dark of the hearth. You see the fields of home, the long furrows of earth, turned black and waiting for spring. You see the woman, her face clear for the first time since the wreck. Fair hair, strong hands, eyes that hold yours without fear. She stands by the door of your hall, waiting. You feel the weight of the plow in your hands, the smell of turned earth and rain, the promise of the harvest. It is a good dream, a warm dream. For a while, the wolf and the cold do not exist. You wake to the smell of sage and wood smoke. The fire in the pit has burned low to glowing coals, casting a soft red light over the shack. Torolf sits exactly where he was when you closed your eyes, staring into the embers as if he has not moved. The fur blanket slips from your shoulders. Your arm aches, but the sharp biting pain is gone, replaced by a dull throb and the cool sensation of the salve. Your ribs feel looser, the deep grind of bone against bone faded to a stiff soreness. You're rested, but the night is not yet over. The sleeper wakes. You dreamed of the hearth. It's a good place to visit, Ulfric, but we are not there yet. Back to the code. Enjoy the warmth while it lasts. The night is long, and the wolf is hungry. You offered service. You offered to pay the iron price. The moon is high. It is time to see what your steel is worth. Clothing is now dry from the fire's heat. Yay! Okay, here we go. I test my arm. The ache is present, dull, but I can move it well, and I can fight. I look at Torolf with strength in my gaze, and a firmness in my voice. Tell me what I need to do, and it shall be done. I'll not waste words when actions boom louder. Now let's see how the story changes. Here we go. And for those that are interested, please check out the demo right now and wishlist the game. You will not regret it.
You flex your arm, the muscles coiling under the bandages. The pain is a dull shadow of its former self. A reminder rather than a hindrance. You grip your axe, the weight familiar and grounding. Torolf watches you, his pale eyes reflecting the dying coals. He nods slowly, a satisfied grunt rumbling in his chest.
I'll pause here and take over the narration. Good. The fire has taken hold. You want deeds? Then listen. The wolf child is not the only hunter tonight. The grey ones are bold. They circle the oak. Wolves again. You just killed their leader. They're either running or looking for revenge. Climb down, check the perimeter. If they come too close to the roots, bleed them. Can you do that without falling, Ulfric? Torolf gestures to the leather flap leading to the platform outside. The wind howls against the shack walls, a mournful sound that rises and falls like the tide. Below the treehouse, the forest is a pit of blackness, but you can hear it, the snap of the twig, low growl carried on the wind. They're there. Game is good, Mo. Genuinely, I recommend checking out the demo. You can literally write your own story. Hell, I'm writing my own story right now, and it is great. I am absolutely freaking loving it. Like, this shit is good. All right? This shit is good. If you got creative imagination and all that, you will enjoy yourself. This is thoroughly awesome. Okay, here's what I've written. I take my shield and my axe and march out. I'll not be caught off guard like I was before. There is no weariness in my bones. I am rested, and I am a raider and survivor. As I make my way down, I remain cautious. 4 wolves at my last count. With the alpha now dead. 4 sacks of meat to offer to the earth. I would share the largest one with Torolf when this was done. After all, kindness, regardless of its form, must be repaid. Let's go. Now it'll take my words and write the story. And of course, that means that I get to recite some stuff. Okay, back outside. Let's go.
You push through the leather flap, the wind biting at your face as you step onto the platform. The rope ladder sways above the black pit of the forest.
Let me take over. You grip the rough hemp shield strapped tight to your back, axe loose in your hand. Down you go, boots finding purchase on the rungs, descending into the dark. Your boots hit the snow with a crunch. The forest floor is a mess of shadows and ancient trunks. Yellow eyes gleam from the darkness between the trees. 4 of them. They fan out, silent, save for the heavy breathing of predators circling prey. The alpha is gone, but the hunger remains. 4 on 1. The All-Father loves a gamble. Make it quick, Ulfric. The roots must drink. The closest wolf bares its teeth, a low growl vibrating in its throat. It crouches, muscles tensing to spring. You raise your shield and set your feet in the snow. Okay, I've got to roll the dice. Roll of 6, here we go. Ooh. Are you kidding me? 2 failures, though. I accept my fate. Man. Why is the difficulty 6, bruh? Ah, well. If I die, I die.
The first wolf springs, a blur of gray and white against the dark trunks. You swing your axe, but your injured arm betrays you. The strike goes wide, biting only bark. The beast crashes into your shield, the impact driving the rim into your shoulder. Before you can recover, a second wolf snaps at your legs. You kick
out, but a third flanks you, jaws clamping onto your calf. Pain flares hot and sharp. You stumble, dropping to one knee in the snow. The pack presses the advantage, snarling and snapping. Sloppy, they smell blood on you before you even spilled it. A shout erupts from above, Torolf's voice, raw and commanding, echoing through the branches. He hurls something flaming from the platform, a torch that sizzles as it arcs through the air. It lands in the snow between you and the wolves, flaring bright. The wolves recoil, ears flatten. With a chorus of yips, they melt back into the shadows of the forest. You are left alone in the flickering light, blood staining the snow around your leg. Here we go. This will not do. This will not be my fate. I grab the torch and hunt for the wolves. Pain is irrelevant. Wounds do not matter. All is but an illusion and a test of courage and a test of endurance, and mine is greater than most. The wolves don't get to run this time. I hunt them in the shadows. Outnumbered I may fare poorly, but chasing them down one at a time, that seems a much easier fight. And they aren't the only ones who are hungry tonight. So let's see. I will just choose to ignore wounds. Will the game let me do this? Let's go.
You snatch the torch from the snow, its heat hissing against your palm. The fire roars, casting long, jagged shadows across the trunks. You lunge into the darkness, following the fading sounds of the pack.
Okay, I'm taking over. The forest floor is uneven, a tangle of roots and hidden stones, but your anger drives you forward. The pain in your leg is a distant drumbeat drowned out by the rush of blood in your ears. The wolves are fast, their grey forms melting between the trees like smoke. You catch glimpses of them, ears twitching, tails disappearing behind spruce boughs, but they stay just beyond the reach of your axe and torch. The deeper you go, the darker it becomes. The great oak is a faint memory behind you, its firelight swallowed by the mass of the wolf's forest. The torch sputters, the flame dancing wildly as the wind picks up, carrying with it the scent of pine and something older, something rank. Chasing shadows. Very brave or very stupid, the forest doesn't like runners. The wolf's sounds have stopped entirely. The silence is heavy, pressing against your ears. You stand in a small clearing, the torchlight revealing only snow-dusted branches and skeletal fingers of birch trees. Your leg throbs, the bite wound bleeding through your bindings, staining the snow at your feet. A low rumble vibrates through the ground, not from the wolves, but from something far larger. It is distant, but it is there. The torch flares brightly for a moment, then dims, the wood burning low. You're alone in the deep woods, the blood moon hanging red and watchful above the canopy. The path back is unclear, lost in the tangle of shadows and trunks. Okay, let the blood moon rise and the spirits come forth. Odin will not find me wanting this night. I return with my shield or upon it. There is no other path to Valhalla. Ooh, ominous music, guys. I'm probably gonna die, but I don't care if I die. Let's go. You drive yourself forward, each step a defiance
Drive yourself
of pain.
forward. Each step
A defiance of pain screaming from your calf. The torch in your hand is a dying star, its light shrinking as the wood burns away. The shadows seem to lengthen and reach for you, grasping with fingers of black pine. The blood moon watches through the canopy, a red eye unblinking in the sky of bruised purple. You are deep in the belly of the wolf's forest now, far away from the safety of the oak. The air grows colder, biting through your wool tunic, and the silence is absolute. Not even the wind dares to breathe here. Courage and stupidity are often the same color, Ulfric. Red like the moon, like your leg. The ground beneath your feet softens, the snow giving way to damp moss and rotting leaves. The scent of rank decay fills your nose, overpowering the pine. You stumble, your vision swimming for a moment. The torch sputters, threatening to go out. You're alone, wounded and hunted. The darkness feels alive, waiting for you to fall. A roar splits the night, closer than before. It is not the howl of a wolf, it is the sound of a mountain breaking, of earth tearing open. It comes from the darkness ahead, vast and terrible. The torch flares one last time and then dies, plunging you into near total darkness. Only the red light of the blood moon illuminates the forest floor, turning the snow into a field of blood. Endure blood loss and exhaustion. Let's go, roll the dice. Wow, critical failure? Really? Wow. Okay, I'm dead. Let's see my fate. I know, right? Pain is not ignored. The world spins violently, the red moon blurs into a streak of fire across your vision. Your heart hammers against your ribs like a trapped bird, each beat weaker than the last. The strength drains from your legs, not like water, but like a cutthroat. You stumble, your boots tangling in roots that seem to rise up to snare you. The ground rushes up to meet you, black earth, cold snow, and the smell of your own blood. You hit the ground hard, the impact jarring your teeth. Your axe slips from numb fingers, landing just out of reach. The shield pins your arm, a useless weight of wood and iron. You try to push yourself up, but your muscles have turned to water. The cold is no longer outside, it is inside, freezing your marrow. Your breath comes in shallow, rattling gas, clouding the red light. And down he goes. The All-Father collects, but he doesn't carry. Look up, Ulfric, the dark is watching. The shadows between the trees detach themselves from the darkness. The massive shape takes form, towering over the spruce. It is not a wolf, it is a nightmare of muscle and fur, standing on two legs like a man, but hunched like a beast. The blood moon glints in eyes that burn with ancient, hateful intelligence. It steps into the clearing, its breath steaming in the night air, carrying the stench of raw meat in old graves. It lowers its head, sniffing the blood pooling around your leg. Fenrir's get hungrier than the wolves, faster than you. A fitting end for a raider who chased too far. The beast roars, a sound that shakes the snow from the branches. Above, it takes a step closer, a massive clawed hand raising to strike. You are broken, bleeding, and alone in the dark. The axe lies in the snow. The shield traps your arm. Death stands above you, dripping saliva onto your cheek. I reach for my axe and grasp it. Even facing death, the gods will not find me wanting. If this is where I die, then I die with steel in my hand.
Its breath ruffles your hair.
Okay, your fingers scrape against the frozen crust of the snow, numb and unfeeling as blocks of wood. The axe lies just beyond your grasp, a dark shape in the red light. The beast's shadow falls over you, blotting out the moon. Its breath ruffles your hair, hot and foul with the stench of carrion. You force your arm to move, dragging your body through the slush. Your muscles scream, locked by the cold and exhaustion, but your will is iron. You stretch, your fingertips brushing the leather-wrapped handle. The grip is the only thing that matters now. Don't let go. The beast raises a massive claw, poised to tear you apart. Time seems to slow, the red moon hanging like a dropped shield in the sky. Your hand closes around the axe. It's heavy, impossibly heavy, but it is yours. You try to pull it close to raise it against the darkness, but the world spins and fades. The cold is a final blanket. Grasp the axe and resist the cold. I still get a roll? Okay. Ha! I resisted! You're kidding me. I guess the story carries on. Your fingers lock around the leather-wrapped handle, the iron suddenly alive in your grasp.
Your fingers lock around the leather wrap.
The cold screams in your veins, but the fire of defiance burns hotter. You heave, muscles straining against the weight of your own failing body, and drag the axe across the snow. The beast's shadow engulfs you, a mountain of fur and malice, blocking out the blood moon. Its massive claw descends, gleaming like obsidian in the red light, aimed at your chest. Up, fool, or die on your knees. You don't think, you act. With a roar that tears at your throat, you swing the shield up, the iron rim meeting the beast's claw in a shower of sparks. The impact is like a boulder falling from the sky, driving you into the snow, the wood of the shield groaning under the force. The beast snarls, surprised by the resistance. Its hot breath blasting your face. You are alive for this heartbeat, but the shield is cracked and the monster looms over you, ready to strike again. One chance, and so I strike back. I am a warrior, I am a survivor. Against all odds, I will not die on my knees. I strike with all my strength, all or nothing. The beast dies or I die, there is no in-between. beast's fur and flesh.
Biting deep. Black blood sprays, hot and steaming, across your face.
Wait, it let me hit
The
it?
creature howls, a sound of shock and rage, and staggers back, clutching its wounded shoulder. Your shield, already cracked, takes the next blow. A massive swipe.
It splinters the wood and sends you spinning into the snow. You're on your back again, gasping, but the beast is bleeding. It circles you, eyes burning with a new, wary hatred, preparing to finish what it started. You drew blood. Now watch it heal or watch it kill you. Strike the killing blow before the beast recovers. Let's go! Damn, I'm adding a success. Nope. I freaking win. I use my story point. Let's go. This is D&D, people. The beast recoils, black ichor pulsing from the gash in its shoulder. It hesitates for a heartbeat, eyes wide with shock, and that heartbeat is all the world gives you. Ha! Killed it! Look at it! It's dead. Weakling.
You surge up from the snow, every ounce of your failing life channeled into your arms. The axe
rises, a crescent moon of iron in the red light, and falls with the weight of a mountain strike. The blade bites deep into the creature's throat, severing bone and sinew in a single wet crunch. The beast's roar dies in a gurgle of frothing blood. It thrashes wildly, massive claws tearing furrows in the earth, but you hold on, driving the axe deeper until steel meets the spine. With a final shuddering convulsion, the mountain of fur collapses, pinning you to the frozen ground. The heat of its blood steams against your skin, a fleeting warmth in the freezing night. Silence rushes back into the clearing, heavy and absolute. Well, I didn't think you had it in you. Fenrir's whelp dead in the snow. The All-Father will be amused. You push the heavy carcass aside, arms trembling so violently they can barely hold your weight. The adrenaline fades, leaving only the crushing cold and screaming agony of your wounds. The red moon watches indifferently as you slump against the dead beast, your breath coming in shallow, ragged gasps. The forest is dark, the path home lost, and the cold is creeping into your bones, promising a sleep you might not wake from. You are alive, but the night is far from over. The beast is dead, but the island is still hungry, and you are bleeding into the snow. I accept my fate. I have earned my glory. If I pass tonight, I go to Valhalla. But still, I fight, even against death itself. I will resist until the end. My father's voice, softer, distant, but still echoing. Live, boy. Live and come home. I can't believe I actually won the fight. Like, that's so stupid, but whatever. Let's go with it, man. Let's go with it. I'm gonna ride this train till the end. Okay, let it take its time to go. There we go. The cold is the final blanket, suffocating and warm, but your father's voice cuts through it like a hot knife. Live, boy, live and come home. You cling to the sound.
The cold is a final blanket, suffocating and warm, but your father...
Okay, wait.
Live, boy, live and come home. You cling to the sound, the last ember of a fire that refuses to die.
I don't know why the buttons are gone, but okay. See your fate.
The red moon hangs above, silent witness to the slaughter below. The beast lies still, its vast fur slowly turning the snow beneath it into a bed of black ice. You did not run, you did not hide. You stood before a child of Fenrir and split its skull.
It's done. Fenrir's child is dead.
I didn't think you could do it. I didn't think anyone could.
You know what comes now?
A sound from above. Not the wind, but the heavy beat of wings. A shadow detaches itself from the blood-red sky, descending towards you. It is vast, larger than the other, its feathers absorbing the light rather than reflecting it.
Oh.
It lands beside Hugin, and for the first time, the two ravens stand together on this frozen earth. Munin, memory. He did not wait for you to cross the ice. He came to you.
You killed it. In all the ages of Odin's trials, very few mortals have chosen to fight rather than flee.
The Allfather did not expect this.
Yeah, damn right he didn't.
Neither did I.
I watched them hunt it. Hunt it. The child of Fenrir. They found the axe. They found the fire. They read the signs. And when the moment came, when it was close enough to feel its breath, to smell the wolf blood, they didn't flinch. Odin will find that very interesting.
Munin turns his obsidian eyes upon you, and within their depths, you see the reflection of a burning hall, a screaming child, and your own hand reaching through the flames. The memory rushes back, not as a trickle, but as a flood. Northumbria, the raid, the village in flames. You saw a child trapped in the burning longhouse. You did not strike. You reached in. You pulled the child from the fire.
You showed mercy in Northumbria. Pulled a child from fire. A raven saw. Odin took your memory to ask if that mercy was real. But you gave him a different answer than he expected. Mercy to the innocent. Death to the monster. You didn't choose one. You chose both. That is rare, even among Odin's chosen.
The truth settles over you, heavier than the cold, heavier than the exhaustion. You are Odd. You are the raider who spared a child and the warrior who slew a god's beast. The trial was not to see if you were soft, but to see if you were whole. You are not a shield that only protects, nor an axe that only kills. You are both. The Allfather does not want one half of a man. He wants the storm and the calm that follows.
I've watched mortals die at Fenrir's children's claws. Dozens. Hundreds. I've never watched one win. Go home, Ord. Remember who you are, and what you're capable of. The wolves will hear about this.
Munin spreads his wings and takes flight, vanishing instantly into the dark.
Huh.
Hugin lingers for a heartbeat longer, his black eyes fixed on yours. For the first time, there is no mockery in his gaze, only a solemn, terrifying respect. Then, he is gone. A shadow, merging with the shadows. You are alone in the wolf's forest, but the silence is different now. It is not the silence of the hunted, it is the silence of the conqueror.
The beast lies dead at your feet, its curse broken with your axe. The people of this island Torolf in his tree, Sigrid in her hut, will wake to a world without fear.
You remember your home. You remember the face of the woman you would court. You remember the raid, the fire, and the child. And you remember this night. The night you killed a legend under the blood moon. You push yourself up, your body screaming, your spirit unbroken. The trial is over. You are Odd. And you are going home.
I never met Sigrid, but goddamn. Yo, I freaking won. Now that is why we play. Okay? That just right there actually gave me the exact same feeling that I get from D&D. You know, sometimes you just don't expect it. You know, you just you win. You just gamble on the dice, you roll the dice, and you freaking win. That's crazy to me, you know? Now, I still got a bit of stream time left. So this time we go again. And let's go wild. Okay, here we go. Forge your own. Oh, okay. Never mind. Since I'm live, I probably shouldn't do that, but you can create your own characters and stuff like that, so that's fine. Okay. The stats are not different, I think. Yeah, stats are the same. Okay. Okay, so this is the opening sequence where it shows the raid and you getting shipwrecked and all that. All right. There probably could be. In this one, I mean, I killed it. If you guys play, you know, who knows what
Your
you will
legs
find.
tremble as you push yourself up. The ground is slick with frozen seaweed and black ice. Every move.
Okay.
You stand on a.
I'm just gonna fast forward this part, but I'll give you guys the gist of it because now I want to try and break some stuff. Okay. Right now, okay, I'm shipwrecked. Basically, I'm standing on a shelf of rock above the fjord. Gray ocean heaves against the cliff. Around you, broken ribs of your Drakkar jut from the water like bones of a dead whale. Bodies bob in the shadows or lie tangled in the wreckage. Okay, smear of red catches your eye on the cliff above, a trail of blood leading to a motionless shape. The wind howls off the water, cutting through your wet clothes. Okay. So, this one started different. It says the dead have things you need, the wreckage too, or you can stand there and freeze. Your choice, Shield Maiden. Alright. Okay, here's what I'm gonna try and write this time. First, I search the wreckage for things I'll need. A shield, my axe, and dagger. And a dagger, sorry. The 3 items of every raider's survival. Any other supplies that haven't been destroyed I recover. I do find a usable shield. Passable. Not mine, but passable. My axe survived. I thank the gods for that. The dagger I take from a corpse. He won't be needing that. I search for anything else that might be of use, keeping an eye on the cliff above. That will be my next destination when this is done. Let's see what it does with stuff like this. Now this time we're going to fast forward a little bit, so I hope you guys don't mind. That first playthrough was a mess, but you know, let's go in full experienced. You wade into
A
the
dead-
freezing shallows, numb fingers prying at the wreckage. Sea fights you for every plank, but you find your hand axe lodged in a splintered beam. Iron is cold, grip is familiar, damn right. A dead shield brother floats nearby. I take the six knife from his belt and pry a wooden shield from the tangle of debris. It's not yours, but the iron boss is solid. You scour the rest of the wreck, gathering what the storm spared: a length of ship's rope, torn section of sail, a leather satchel, and a flask of mead. From another body, you salvage flint and steel, a set of sodden furs, and a silver arm ring that glints dully in the grey light. Okay. Practical, you remember how to loot at least, though that silver won't stop the beast's teeth. What is silver arm ring? Valuable for trade. Okay, this time I found a whole bunch more stuff. The wind cuts through your wet clothes as you work, reminding you that warmth is a luxury you don't have. Above you on the cliff, the blood trail stains the grey rock, leading to a motionless shape. The path up looks steep but climbable. Okay, I climb up the path carefully. I must find out what that shape is before I proceed onward. So this time I'll go for shorter responses, more D&D style. You grip the rock, fingers numb but finding perches on the rough stone. The climb is short but steep, your
At the
boots
top,
scraping against
the wind hit-
frost-slicked edges. At the top, the wind hits you harder, unblocked by the cliffs below. The smell hits you first, copper and rot. The shape is a body, a Viking dragged here and torn apart like a rag doll by a starving wolf. The head is gone. The chest is a ruin of exposed ribs and raw meat. One leg ends in a ragged tangle of flesh below the knee. Blood pools black on the grey stone, steaming slightly in the cold air. This wasn't a battle, this was a slaughter. Fenrir's child, hungry, look at the wounds, torn, not cut. No axe did this. Something with teeth chosen, something big. The path continues north from here, leading toward higher, more jagged cliffs. To the south, the terrain slopes downward to what looks like a beach. Eastward, the dark forest looms at the edge of your sight. Okay. First, I seek the high ground. The cold is biting and my cloak and clothing are wet. But without direction, I cannot find my way. I try to get the lay of the land before mapping a path to the forest so I can start a fire. You scramble up the slick rock to a higher vantage point, the wind tearing at your wet clothes. From here, the island unfolds like a broken shield. To the north, the cliffs rise into jagged peaks, the high fjords grey and forbidding against the pale sky. Southward, the terrain slopes down to a stretch of dark sand, where the waves batter the shore. A beach, perhaps offering shelter or salvage. East lies the dense forest, a wall of dark spruce and birch that seems to swallow the light. Far beyond it, barely visible through the haze, you glimpse a white line stretching across the water, the frozen passage, your only way off this rock. The forest, dark, cold, full of things that wants you dead, but it has wood.
New subscriber detected.
Now, here's the crazy thing. Last time I did this, I found the oak tree. This time I didn't. Interesting. Okay. So, this is where I am. Alright. So I can easily start a fire. Alright. Alright, D&D style. I head for the forest. Wood and fire are a necessity. I remember my survival lessons. I stick to the edge of the forest, chopping wood and using the knife to cut burrs and shavings off so I can easily start a fire. Drying my clothing and warming my body comes first. So now we go to the wolf's forest. It's afternoon.
The trees close around you like the ribs of a...
The trees close around you like the ribs of a great hall. Dark spruce and pale birch blocking the wind but trapping the cold. Ground here is lower than the cliffs, carpeted in snow that hasn't melted since the first frost. The light is dimmer, filtering through the thick branches. Okay, gonna fast forward a little bit here. You stay at the forest edge where the light still reaches the ground. Your hand axe bites into deadfall, the sound sharp in the quiet. You gather dry branches from lower boughs and use your sixth knife to shave birch bark into fine, feathery curls. Good tinder that catches a spark even in the damp. The work warms your blood slightly, but your wet clothes cling to you heavy and cold. Smart, stay in the light. The deep woods have eyes and teeth. Strike the flint, chosen. Before the shivering stops because you're dead, not because you're warm. Okay. While I work quickly. The flint strikes true, sparks showering onto the birch bark curls, a thin wisp of smoke rises, then catches. Flame blooms, hungry and bright. You feed it small twigs, then larger branches, until a steady crackle pushes back the forest chill. You strip off your soaked layers, hanging them on branches near the heat. The steam rising from your wool and linen smells of salt and old sweat. As the warmth seeps into your skin, the shivering slows, then stops. You work quickly while the fire grows, splitting branches and wrapping birch bark around the tips, binding them tight with strips of the ship's rope. 3 torches lie ready in the snow. Great. Warming, drying clothes. While you work, your eyes scan the forest floor. The silence here is wrong. No birds, no scurrying rodents, just the wind and the needles. Near the firelight, you spot tracks in the snow. Some are small wolves, perhaps moving in a pack, but among them, pressed deep into the earth, a print too large to be a wolf. It looks neither fully animal nor human. Ooh. You're not alone. The prints, they're fresh. Something was here, watching. But fire frightens the dark things, for now. The afternoon light is failing, the sun dipping below the tree line. Your clothes are damp but wearable, the heat lingering into your limbs. The forest stretches out in every direction, dark and waiting. Okay. I'm gonna type something crazy. Okay. I take note of the driest trees and set them ablaze. The winter chill won't let a forest fire start. But more fire is better. I use that to search for high ground. Anything that can help me navigate this forest. I won't go blindly into the dark. Let's see if it'll let me. Okay. You drag the dry fallen logs to the edge of your fire pit, feeding the flames until they roar higher, casting long dancing shadows against the spruce trunks. The winter damp wood resists at first, hissing and smoking, but the heat is undeniable. You set smaller blazes in a rough circle, pushing back the encroaching dark. The winter chill and wet timber keep the fire from spreading beyond your control, but the ring of light expands, giving you a clearer view of the immediate terrain. With torches secured in your belt and a fire burning bright, you move toward the largest trees, seeking a vantage point. The forest floor is uneven, hidden beneath layers of moss and snow. You scramble up the slope of a rocky outcropping that breaks the tree line, pulling yourself up by gripping exposed roots and icy stone. From here, the view is still limited. A sea of dark green roofs and white patches of snow, but you can see the lay of the land better. The forest stretches out in all directions, denser to the north and east. To the south, the trees thin slightly, letting in more of the fading afternoon light. Westward, you can just make out the grey glint of the ocean through the branches. Higher ground, good, but the trees here are old. They hide things. You see the way south? The light is better there. Less shadow for the wolves to hide in. The sun is dipping lower now. The light is turning a deep bruised gold. The temperature is dropping as the day wanes, the air biting at your exposed skin. The fire is strong, but it won't last forever without more fuel. Cut some trees that are on fire. Actually, that was my plan. I feed as much into the fire as I can, timing myself and moving my body. My axe is trusty and sharp. I hack wood as I go, tossing it to feed the fire, and then I head toward the south, where the light is. That is where I must go. I will burn this forest to the ground if I have to. Screw the forest. I will survive. I am a survivor. Location discovered. Plains. Something different. Last night we went balls to the walls into the forest. Sorry, last time we went balls to the walls into the forest. Now we're going to do something different. The trees fall behind you as you step into the plains. The sky burns amber and gold, the sun sinking low but still bright enough to blind you after the forest shadow. Here the land opens up, a vast, flat expanse of snow stretching into the horizon. Broken only by the dark line of the ocean cliffs to the south. The wind hits you instantly, unbroken by any cover, cutting through your layers with a knife's edge. You swing your axe, hacking at a dead scrub bush, the dry wood snapping easily. You toss the branches onto your small fire, watching the flames lick at them before turning south. The snow crunches under your boots, deep and uneven. In the distance, a thin thread of smoke rises against the darkening sky, barely visible in the golden haze. Open ground, no cover. If the beast comes, you'll see it coming, and it will see you. That smoke. Someone else is freezing tonight. Okay. I head toward the smoke quickly but cautiously. Whoever it is might be willing to share their fire, and two is better than one on a night like this.
You trudge through the deepening snow.
Okay, I did not find this hut the last time. You trudge through the deepening snow, the wind whipping your cloak around your legs. The golden light fades as the sun dips lower, casting long shadows across the empty plains. The smoke grows thicker, a straight grey line against the darkening sky. Ahead, a low turf structure huddles in the snow, a small hut with a sod roof patched with frost. A thin curl of smoke rises from the central hole. Ooh. Okay, if someone is living here, then a gift is important. They lack firewood, and that is something I can provide. I quickly return to the forest, chopping the driest wood I can find, and haul a small stack to the shack. Perhaps if I bring something to trade, they would share their fire for the night. You turn back toward the distant tree line, the snow crunching under your boots. The wind bites at your exposed face.
You turn
as you
back
leave
toward
the meager shelter of the hut's lee. The forest edge is close enough to reach before the cold settles too deep. You find a dead birch, its pale wood dry and brittle. Your axe rises and falls, the rhythm familiar and grounding. Limbs snap, logs tumble into the snow. You work quickly, gathering an armload of fuel, enough to buy a night's warmth. With the wood balanced against your hip, you trudge back across the open plains. The hut looms ahead, smoke curling from the roof hole like a grey finger in the fading. I'm sorry. It just made me think of a grey finger like it's giving me the middle finger. Like, okay, bro. You approach the door, the wood rough under your hand, a gift for shelter, the old way. Give me a second. Alright. You knock once, the sound muffled by the turf walls. The coughing stops instantly. Silence stretches, heavy and watchful, then footsteps light and careful. The door cracks open an inch, revealing a slice of shadow and one wary dark eye. You're far from home, Raider. What do you want? Sigrid! Okay. We all know what's gonna happen. Time to bang. Nah, I'm just kidding. Alright, here we go. Okay. I ask her for shelter for the night and tell her I've brought wood to trade. A gift for shelter the old way. The woman's eye flicks from your face to the wood stacked against your hip, then back to the empty grey logs by the wall. The wind howls across the plains, tugging at her cloak. For a long moment she says nothing, weighing the risk of a stranger against the certainty of a cold night without fuel. Wood, we have little enough. Leave your axe outside and keep your hands where I can see them. The door creaks open wider, revealing a dim interior lit by the glow of a central hearth. The smell of wood smoke and sickness drifts out. She steps back, making room, but her hand rests near the knife at her belt. You know the old ways. That's something. Come in, but if you cause trouble, you'll leave feet first. Okay, I understand and I mean no harm. I leave my axe by the dark and examine the shack. I gaze with the raider's eyes and shift my thinking immediately. I think to myself, I meant to write door, but I don't know why I wrote dark, brain fart. But anyway, I think to myself, survey the surroundings. Oh, hut inside, golden hour, okay?
The turf walls close around you as you step inside.
Survey the surroundings, but don't be impolite. I ask Sigrid if she's well, just something to spark conversation. The turf walls close around you as you step inside, shutting out the wind's howl. The air is thick with wood smoke and the sour smell of sickness. A central hearth burns low, casting a dim orange glow over the single room. Dried herbs hang from the rafters and a few wooden bowls sit on a rough table. In the back corner, a pile of furs stir and a wet rattling cough echoes from the shadows. Sigurd moves to the hearth, adding your gift of wood to the dying flames. The fire catches, the light brightening, revealing her face more clearly. Sharp features, dark hair pulled back tight, eyes that watch you like a hawk watching a field mouse. She doesn't answer your question about her health immediately. Instead, she gestures to the fire with a nod, acknowledging the trade. Well enough. Amma, my mother-in-law, she has the fever. Sit, but don't go near the furs in the back. The sickness takes the old ones fast. Okay. The fire crackles, pushing back the chill. You can see the layout now. Sparse, practical, everything within reach. A wooden horse toy sits on the mantel, its paint worn away. The coughing from the corner subsides into ragged breathing. Sigrid leans against the wall, arms crossed, her hands still resting near her knife. You have the look of a raider. Shipwrecked? I... Okay. I answer honestly, we were returning with a bounty and the sea turned furious. My shield brothers were not quite as lucky as I was. I survived, I lived, and now I must find my way home. You'll not receive any trouble from me. I'll depart when the sun rises and try to find my way. If you have any knowledge of the surrounding land, I'll be grateful. When you ask for knowledge of the land, she glances toward the door, then back at you, weighing your words. The sea takes many. You're not the first to wash up on Ulfsea's shores. Ulfsea? Ah, I see. You want to leave? The passage is east, past the whale bones. But the ice is failing, and the forest is not safe at night. The Grey One hunts. The pile of furs in the corner, a dry, rasping voice cuts through the air. The old woman stirs, pushing back the heavy covers to reveal a face pale with fever, eyes bright and sharp despite the weakness. Grey One, she means the wolf stranger, the big one. You have the look of someone who's seen death. Did it look back? East is my only chance off the rock. Okay, I wrote, something in me tells me that there's something I need to do here first. I ask Sigrid and Amma if there's anything I can do for them before I leave. I tell them openly and honestly that I feel that I survive for a reason, and that reason is telling me that I must do what is right. I have no memory of who I was or where I'm even from, but I know enough.
Sigrid's eyes narrow at your...
But I know enough. Sorry, lost my place there. I have no memory of who I was or where I'm even from, but I know enough that if I can lend a hand, I should. I may be a raider, but here I am dealing with my own people, and that is enough to offer. Sigrid's eyes narrow at your words, her posture stiffening. She looks you up and down, weighing the sincerity of your offer against the danger of a stranger in her home. The firelight dances across her face, highlighting the lines of exhaustion etched there. Amma shifts in the furs, her rasping breath steady as she watches the exchange with a faint, knowing smile. A raider with no memory who wants to do what is right, that is a rare thing. My woodpile is empty, the garden is dead. And Amma, the fever has her. Unless you can bring back the dead or make winter turn to spring, I do not see what you can do. Don't be so hard on the girl, Sigrid. She has the look of someone the gods have not finished with yet. Tell me, stranger, if you do not know who you are, how do you know you are one of us? The fever root grows on the high cliffs to the north. Okay. Okay, it is Amma's only chance, but the climb is dangerous. Fever root. I repeat. Very well, I will leave at first morning's light. The ravens told me before. here. Okay, fever root, I repeat. Very well, I will leave at first morning's light. The raven told me the wolves do not hunt in the light, and if they do, as long as I can see them, then they will be providing us with meat and blood. I cut my words quickly, not wanting to reveal my berserker's blood. I will get the root for you, a life for a life. I will not have survived the night without your aid, and I will ensure I give it once the light comes. Dawn, then. Speak of the ravens. The people of Ulfsey say they are Odin's eyes watching us die. If you bring the root, you'll have earned your keep, but be careful on the high cliffs. The wind there, it hates the living. Meat and blood, she says. A bold tongue for one with no name. Just remember, stranger, the wolf is not the only thing that bites on the island. The firelight flickers across the wooden horse on the mantle, casting long, dancing shadows against the turf walls. Outside, the wind continues its mournful howl, but inside, for a moment, there is only the crackle of the fire and the sound of Amma's steady breathing. Okay, I rest and try to think of my memories. A few bits and pieces fade in and out of mind as I sleep. I rest as much as I can to pass the night. I must wake early, at dawn's first light, and I will retrieve the root. I can't believe it's already been 3 hours, holy crap. But this is too good. Sundown.
Sleep comes like a heavy tide, pulling you down.
Okay, the fire's warmth seeps into your bones, driving out the chill of the wreck. Dreams flicker, flashes of the long ship cutting waves, the roar of battle faces you cannot name, all slipping away before you can hold them. The wind howls outside, a distant beast, denied entry by the turf walls. You sleep like the dead, or perhaps the dead sleep more peacefully. The sun is up. If you go for the root, go now. The light will not last long this time of year. But it says sundown, what the hell? Okay. Okay, here we go. My body feels light somehow, lighter than it has ever been. I take my axe and shield and run. My legs do not tire. My body feels light. I rush for the root, strength filling me for the first time since the wreck. Ta-ta-ta, let's go. Okay, what will the story throw me this time?
You burst from the plains into the tree line, the transition sudden as stepping through a doorway. The
open sky vanishes, swallowed by the dense canopy of spruce and birch. The air here is still, trapped by the close-growing trunks and colder than the wind-scoured plains. Your legs pump beneath you, light and tireless, a strange fire burning in your veins that feels like battle rage but without the anger. You're fast, faster than you should be, eating up the ground with long strides. Dust deepens around you, the light filtering through the branches turns the color of old bruises purple and grey. Shadows. Tell me the timing. Shadows stretch long, twisting into shapes that vanish when you look directly at them. The snow underfoot is patchy here, caught in the roots and hollows, showing tracks, some small, some the size of a man's hand, and others are vast, wrong shapes that press deep into the earth, running toward the dark, bold, or perhaps just eager to meet what waits there. The light is dying, survivor. The grey ones are waking up. You slow to a halt, chest heaving not from exhaustion but from the sheer force of your own motion. The forest stretches out in all directions. To the north, the ground rises slightly, the path leading uphill toward what looks like even denser woods. A low howl echoes in the distance, answered by another closer by. I wonder if the wolf fight is inevitable. Let's see. Okay, I head to the direction most likely to contain fever root. I'm familiar with it, I know where to find it. A memory stirs. My younger sister, she was often ill in the winter, and I would always fetch the roots for her. I would always hold her hand in the night. The memory feels almost like a gift, warm and nurturing. I move quickly, cautiously, but quickly. I must find the fever root and return to the hut with haste. Moonrise.
The forest swallows you whole as you leave the plains behind. The trees...
Okay, the sounds is heavy, no birds, no small animals, just the wind hissing through needles like a snake in the dry grass. The air smells of pine resin and something older, almost like incense. Ahead, a massive shape dominates the gloom. An oak tree, impossibly large for this latitude, its trunk scarred with deep carvings. A crude structure clings to its branches 6 men high, smoke curling from a platform. The ground underfoot is uneven, roots gripping the earth like skeletal fingers. Your sister, a ghost in the blood. Memories are dangerous things here. They make you soft. The tree, it should not be. The All-Father marks his own. You push through the undergrowth, your eyes scanning the shadowed earth for the familiar shape of fever root. The memory of your sister's hand in yours guides you. I love it. I just can't help it. I love that this thing just makes my words real. The cool, damp places where the roots dig deep. The moon rises higher, casting silver light through the canopy, illuminating patches of snow. A low howl echoes from the west, closer than before, followed by the snap of branches in the distance. The forest feels awake, watching. There, near the base of the ancient oak, sheltered by a fallen log, you see the distinctive jagged leaves, fever root. You kneel, digging through the frozen crust with your 6th knife. The earth is hard, but the blade is sharp. The root comes free, smelling pungent and earthy. The scent of life snatched from winter's grip. You found it, but look up, survivor. The smoke does not lie. Someone lives in the oak. So, no matter what, it's pushing you there. Madmen, hermits, something worse. The wolf is not the only thing that bites. Okay, I know I won't make it back to the plains, so I climb the rope ladder headed up to where the smoke rises. I climb cautiously, ensuring that I do not lose my grip on the rope or on my axe. Okay, made it to the treehouse.
You grip the rough hemp of the ladder, the fibers biting in.
Okay. The wind catches the ladder, making it sway, but your grip holds firm. As you pull yourself onto the platform, the smell of wood smoke and dried herbs washes over you, thick and pungent. Oh, this time because I'm rested, warm, dry, and alert, and fully strong, no chance of falling, so I didn't have to do a roll. Okay. Godatal, the god's speech, the madman calls it home. Or perhaps the gods call him. Oof, it's starting to get yawny. It's that time of night, but I must keep going. A figure emerges from the hut, pulling the fur door shut behind him. He is old, his hair and beard wild and grey, threaded with bones and small feathers. Pale blue eyes fixed on you, unfocused for a moment before sharpening with sudden intensity. He wears patchwork furs, and his hands are stained with dark ink, the marks of runes. A climber, the wind said someone was coming. You carry the root. Good. The earth gives, but it demands payment in blood. Are you here to trade, survivor, or to die? Torolf. Okay, I'm only here to repay a favor. Okay. So, I'm only here to repay a favor, and I'm willing to trade the silver arm ring for shelter. The old man's eyes flick to the silver ring in your hand, then back to your face. A strange expression crosses his weathered features. Not greed, but something like recognition or perhaps amusement. He steps aside, gesturing toward the fire pit with a sweeping motion of his rune-stained hand. Silver, the moon's metal. You offer payment to the gods. Keep your trinket. The fire is for all who carry fate. Though the silver, it has its uses. against the dark things. Silver, you carry the one thing that bites back. Did you know that, survivor? Or is it just another accident of fate? Torolf moves to the fire pit, stirring the embers with a long stick. Flames lick up, casting dancing shadows across the animal skulls hanging from the branches. He gestures for you to sit, his movements fluid and practiced despite his age. The wind howls below, but here on the platform, the air is still and thick with the scent of burning wood and herbs. Sigurd's mother, Amma. The fever takes the old ones. The root will help if the spirits allow. You're far from home, Strandwalker. The currents brought you here for a purpose, or perhaps just to die in a new place. I must carry this on. I explain that I have no intention of dying, though I lack my memories. I'm a survivor, and living is what I do. Okay. I laugh, smiling. I explain that I have no intention of dying, though I lack my memories. I am a survivor, and living is what I do. I will return the favors I have been given, then seek passage past the whalebones once my debt is paid. That is the right way, the old way. I ask if there is anything I can do for the hermit before I leave to repay him for the fire and warmth until the night passes. Let's see what will happen if I throw them this curveball. The old way. There is no old way anymore, only the wolf's way. You carry the silver, that is payment enough, the dark things fear it. As for help, you're already helping. By living, by breathing, the All-Father watches those who refuse to die. He settles onto a log by the fire, heat washing over his weathered face. Below, the wind howls through the trees, a mournful sound that seems to come from everywhere at once. The rope ladder creaks as it swings in the draft. Refusing to die, a popular delusion among the living. The wolf does not care about your death, survivor, it only cares about your hunger. Rest, Strandwalker, the fire will hold the dark at bay until dawn, unless you want to know what walks when the moon is full. The beast, it is not what it seems. Oh. I ask him to tell me about the beast that is so often... Okay, let's go. Let's ask him about the beast. Torolf stares into the fire, his eyes reflecting the dancing flames like polished stone. The wind howls below, a mournful counterpoint to his rasping voice. He speaks slowly, each word chosen with care, as if the wrong word might summon the thing itself. The beast, it is old, older than this oak, older than the ice. Fenrir's child, they call it. The Varulfur, but that is just a name. A cage for a thing that cannot be caged. A wolf that walks like a man or a man that hunts like a wolf, the distinction is important only to the one being eaten. It wears many skins. Sometimes it is the grey shadow in the trees. Sometimes it is the neighbor you shared bread with yesterday. The silver, yes, the moon's metal burns it. But fire is the old fear, the purifier. Torolf tosses a handful of dried herbs onto the fire. The flames flare up briefly, turning a strange, vivid green before settling back to orange. The smoke smells sharper now, tinged with something like pine and rot. You want to kill it? Many have tried. Their bones bleach on the high fjords. But you carry fate. The old father does not play dice with corpses. Cheerful thought. At least you know what to throw at it when the time comes. Silver, fire, and hope your axe is sharp. Okay, I decide to ask the question I should. How would I hurt it with silver and fire so that I can kill it when the time is right? Before he can answer, I say, I believe perhaps that this is the debt I've been sent here to repay. Kindness must be repaid. That is what my father taught me. I surprised myself. The words came naturally. Another memory. I remembered my father. So tell me, how should I slay this beast with silver, axe, and fire? Torolf looks up from the fire, his pale eyes fixing on you with an intensity that makes the flames seem to dim. The memory of your father lingers in your mind, a warm hand on a cold night.
Your father spoke true.
A voice steady against the storm. The hermit nods slowly as if he hears the echo of that voice true. Your father spoke true. Kindness is a rare coin these days. You want to know how to hurt it? Listen well. The beast wears the moon's blessing. Iron bites, but the flesh knits as fast as you can cut. It heals like water flowing back into a stream, which is very frustrating when you're trying to chop its head off. I've seen warriors swing until the arms gave out only to watch the wound close before the blood hit the snow. But silver is the moon's tears. It burns, it leaves a mark that does not heal. And fire is the sun's rage. The beast fears the sun. Strike with silver or burn it with fire. Only then will it stay dead. The beast... okay. The wind howls below, rattling the rope ladder against the oak trunk. Torolf tosses another piece of wood onto the fire, the sparks rising like fireflies. The green smoke curls around you, thick and pungent. A debt of kindness. Perhaps that is why the old father spared you. The gods love a good debt. Rest now, survivor. The moon is high, but dawn will come. The root will keep the old woman breathing. Silver, fire, and the father's wisdom. You are better armed than most who died here. Let us hope it's enough. Oh my god. Okay, damn it. I've got 4 minutes and I have to end stream, but I'm gonna at least try and see if it will let me move to dawn. Come on. Let me make it to dawn. I want to save that old lady first. Oh my god, it actually lets me go until the next day. Noon.
The fire crackles.
Okay. Above, the blood moon hangs heavy and red, casting long bloody shadows through the smoke hole. You close your eyes and the world fades to the rhythm of fire. You dream of ice, a vast white plain that stretches forever. A wolf howls in the distance, its voice echoing like a crack in the world. You run, but your feet are heavy, the ice beneath you groans, shifting, black water swirling in the cracks below. You wake with a start, the fires burn low to glowing coals. The red light of the moon is gone, replaced by the pale grey of morning filtering through the branches. The wind has died, leaving an eerie silence. Torolf is nowhere to be seen, though the rope ladder still sways gently in the draught. Dawn, or what passes for it in this far north. You slept through the howling, lucky you. Hugin perches on the edge of the platform, his feathers blacker than the shadows. He tilts his head, watching you gather your gear. The fever root is safe in your satchel. The day is wasting and Sigrid waits. Okay. I run, even faster than the day before. I cannot explain it. It's like I'm carried by the wind. Barely any time passes before I return to Sigrid, root in hand. I stop before I enter, and head to the edge of the forest, to chop a fresh bundle of firewood, something to last them while I'm gone. After all, I might not return from the hunt tonight. Okay, come on. Let me know if this will work. It's noon. How is it blood moon? What the hell, bro? Come on.
The forest floor blurs beneath your boots, dead leaves and snow.
Okay. How practical. The dead don't feel the cold, but the living certainly do. You move like a Valkyrie on a mission, survivor. Just don't trip over your own destiny. Okay. It was noon. How can it be blood moon? Now, this is the only thing that feels a bit forced. Like, time should be allowed to pass. I mean, I can fight the wolf. I have no problem with that, but that's a bit weird. It was noon. I had more than enough time to get to the hut. I love that it's just permanent blood moon. Like, come on.
The
What the hell
plains
is
stretch
this?
white and dead under the blood moon.
drop the firewood by the hearth with a heavy thud and pull the fever root from your satchel. The gnarled, dirty root looks humble in the firelight, but to Sigrid it might as well be gold. She takes it with hands that tremble slightly. Good. A debt paid, how satisfying. Now the only thing left is to hunt the monster, and the night is young. Okay. Björn's axe. I noticed a distinct shine on the axe and asked if it is silver. If the axe is silver, then I could fell the beast with it. I explained that I know how to kill it. All I would need is silver to wound it.
Silver? No.
It's good iron, the best steel Björn could afford. It's felled trees and men both, but I've never seen it shine like the moon. I show the silver arm ring. Explain. Oh, I see. I show the silver arm ring and explain that silver can wound it and stop it from healing. If I then use fire, which will come from my torches, I can finish it for good. If the beast is what killed her husband, then that must be the deed I've been sent here to do.
Silver.
And fire. The old stories say the moon burns the unclean. If you can kill it, if you can make it pay for what it took, then take the axe, it is yours. Okay, a bold claim, survivor promising to slay a legend with a piece of jewelry and a torch. Well, I hope you know how to wrap that ring around an axe head, or this will be a very short hunt. Sigurd moves to the wall, lifting the heavy iron axe down. She offers it to you handle first, her eyes hard with grief and something that looks like hope. It is sharp, it is strong, make it bite, make it burn, send that thing to hell. The girl speaks of debts and killing monsters in the same breath. She will do it, Sigrid. I can see it in her eyes. The wolf has met its match. Okay. I wrap the silver around the axe head, making sure it's secure. I know I really have to stop streaming, but at the same time, oh my god, I need to see this through. You work quickly, twisting the silver arm ring around the iron axe head just below the blade. The metal is cold and stubborn, but with a few strikes from a rock, you hammer it tight against the steel.
Twisting the silver arm ring around.
Okay. You check your torches, stuffing birch bark into the tops for a fast catch. The shield straps creak as you tighten them on your arm. You feel the weight of Björn's axe in your hand, heavy, balanced, a weapon made for work and war. Okay, I step out into the blood moon night. The wind hits you like a physical blow, carrying the scent of pine and something else rank and wild. The red light paints in the snow in shades of dried blood. Oh yeah. Now, I've added a bit of spice to the story. I head north with confidence, torch held high, my eyes alert, my body ready. This is my test, my trial, my fate. My father's voice echoes in my head the entire time. Ghosts or memories, every lesson he ever taught me, how to fight, how to kill, and how to make something stay dead. My berserker's blood is rising in my veins, the only curse I've ever carried. Okay.
The torchlight cuts a trembling path through the rust-dark gloom as you leave the open plain.
Okay, torchlight cuts a trembling path. Great. There, here is still, too still, holding its breath. Every step crunches loud in your ears. Betrayal in the quiet. The ground is uneven, hidden roots and frozen hollows waiting to trip the unwary. The Wolf's Woods, appropriate name. The trees here have seen things that make a Valkyrie weep. Ahead, the forest deepens into shadow. To the north, the path climbs slightly toward the high fjords. To the west, the trees thin toward low cliffs. East leads to the ferry and the ice passage. Somewhere in this darkness, the beast roars again, a sound of grinding stone and wet hunger, closer now than ever before. It knows you're here, they always know. The question is, are you the hunter or the meat? Okay, let's add some spice to this. I'm the hunter, and in truth, I'm also the beast. In killing it, perhaps I'll kill that darker side of myself, the bloodthirsty beast that revels in battle. I pretend I'm good because I want so desperately to remind myself that I'm still civilized, but deep down I crave the heat of battle, I crave the bloodshed, I crave the desire to take skulls and shed blood for the blood god himself. I fear myself, but not tonight. Gotta add a bit of Warhammer 40k in there, yeah? So the blood god is always listening, survivor. Tonight you sing his song back to him. Hey, alright. Apparently the ravens don't know that I worship corn. The forest seems to recoil, the wind dies, leaving the torch flame to burn straight and still. The rust-red light of the blood moon filters through the spruce branches, painting the world in a color of dried wounds. Somewhere ahead a branch snaps, loud, sharp, deliberate. It is not the wind, it is not a wolf. The silence that follows is heavy and waiting. It knows you're coming, it can smell the berserk on you. Rage is a scent, you know, like copper and old iron. Okay, I see the beast, larger and broader than any man, the largest thing I've ever seen, and I laugh. I laugh as it turns into a cackle. Was that the wind howling, or was I screaming? Perhaps it was the rush of blood in my veins. I'm a beast, yet not a beast. My thoughts are still my own. I plant my torch in the ground and plant my feet, shivering from excitement and fear both. My father always taught me to make the first move, but I knew it had to be timed right when the enemy did not expect it. Your laughter tears through the silence, wild and sharp, echoing off the frozen trunks until it sounds like a chorus of the mad. The torch hisses as you drive it into the snow, the flame flaring bright against the rust-red dark. You plant your feet, the shield heavy on your arm, Björn's axe humming in your grip. The shadows between the trees detach themselves, stepping forward into the bloody light. It is a mountain of muscle and matted fur, towering above the spruce. A wolf's head, massive and scarred, sniffs the air with a wet black nose, but the shoulders are too broad, the arms too long, ending in claws that curve like sides. It stops, yellow eyes locking onto yours, and a low rumble builds in its chest like stones grinding together. It is waiting for you to move. Strike the first blow with the silver-wrapped axe. Difficulty 6. 5 dice. Roll. Oh. I failed, right? Nah, just kidding. I succeed. Sorry, bitch. I win. Ha ha! Move before the thought fully forms, a blur of fur and iron, driving forward. The silver-wrapped axe arcs through the blood-red dark, a crescent moon seeking its target.
It bites deep into the massive.
The beast springs jaws wide to crush your skull, but your blade is faster. It bites deep into the massive shoulder, the silver band glowing white-hot against the dark fur. The impact jars your teeth, but the wound does not close. Black blood hisses where the silver touches it, smoking like meat on a spit. The beast howls, a sound that tears at the ears, and thrashes wildly, knocking you backward into the snow. It staggers, the left arm hanging useless at its side, the silver burn festering. It does not fall. The yellow eyes burn with a new intelligent hate. It realizes you are not prey, you are a threat. The beast circles, limping slightly, favoring the wounded shoulder. It growls, a low, rumbling sound that vibrates in your chest. It is looking for an opening, testing your guard. The torch still burns in the snow, casting long, flickering shadows beneath the tree, between the trees. I seize the torch. It fears fire. Okay, here we go. I seize the torch, holding it high. The beast recoils. It fears fire, the fear that causes it to make a mistake. The fear that causes it to flinch. A heartbeat is all I need to carve my axe into its chest. This won't kill it, but it will stop. But it will stop it as it howls from the pain and rage, long enough for me to burn its sickening corpse. Yeah? Gotta swing. Coils, a sharp hiss escaping from its maw as firelight washes over its matted fur. It stumbles back, a momentary flash of primal terror breaking its predatory focus. It remembers the sun, or maybe just the burning. Don't miss, survivor. You lunge into the opening, Björn's axe singing through the air. The silver-wrapped blade drives toward the broad, heaving chest. The beast sees it coming too late, its balance broken by its own fear. It twists, but not enough. The iron bites deep, sinking into the muscle just above the heart. The silver band hisses, glowing white-hot against the dark flesh. Black blood sprays, sizzling as it hits the snow. The beast howls, a sound of pure agony that shakes the needles from the trees. It staggers, its massive arms flailing, but it does not fall. The rage in its eyes turns into something far worse, a desperate, dying fury. Strike the killing blow before the beast recovers. So, roll. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, come on. That one was not... Add success. Screw you. I win. I freaking win. It was a 2. It rolled a 2 and then fell over to a 1. No way, man.
The silver-wrapped axe bites deep, the metal singing as it shears through bone and gristle. The beast's roar dies in a gurgle, its massive legs buckling under the weight of its own dying fury.
Okay, so let's see my fate. Crashes in snow, torchlight reflecting.
No, a mountain.
Okay.
Well, that was messy.
But effective. The All-Father will be pleased. Or annoyed that you stole his thunder. Okay.
But effective.
Okay, so I can only skip while it's
into the
playing.
black blood soaking its fur. The fire catches in. The smell
Okay.
of burning hair and rotting flesh fills the air, thick.
You have won.
You drive the torch into the silver wound, the fire meeting the holy metal with a roar like a forge bellows.
Okay.
The beast's chest convulses, the heat blasting. The great mound of silence rushes back into the forest. Absolute and heavy.
It's done. Fenrir. You know what comes next?
A shadow detaches itself.
You killed it.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Neither did I.
Okay, so it
I watched
basically
them
ends
hunt
the
it.
same way.
Hunt it, the child of Fenrir. They found the... And when the moment came, when it was close, Odin will...
You showed mercy in Northumbria.
Okay. Oh, so wait, I got the same ending.
I've watched
This time.
mortals die at Fenrir's children. Go home, Ord. The wolf...
I mean, the ending is different because of the stuff that I wrote. Like, this time I had no lover, no home, or whatever. Okay.
The sky is...
I see. Alright, alright. Maybe it's because it's just the demo. I do believe that there will probably be different endings. I mean, I could just choose to run to the passage maybe next time I try that. But so far, alright, the different things that you write do shape the story. However, in this particular case, the first time round, I had I was just having a terrible fight because I had wasted story points. So that was a thing. But at the same time, the second story was more structured because I actually took my time to explore. I repaid debts. I learned how to kill the beast. But unfortunately, the combat roll at the end was still a goddamn 6. So you had to succeed. You know, it was pretty crazy. If I didn't roll a single 6, you know, that entire fight was over. So I don't think you're actually supposed to kill the beast. There has to be another alternate ending, but I think if you do kill the beast, that's the ending you will get each time. So ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching me play this. Alright, please remember, you can get the demo, wishlist the game. When the full game is out, it's going to be hot. Do not miss out, ladies and gents. Do not miss out. This is an experience that you'll want to be a part of, because once they start adding more stories, once they have like dozens of different stories, you got your own personal D&D adventure. All right. Wishlisted now. The link is up in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good day and catch you all later, because damn, that was some good shit.